There you go.
Hey, there you go. Welcome to the Bob and Tom show. Bob and Tam show. Too many people came up to all the time and say that. It's Bob and Tom, Bob and Tom. And that's a radio show. It's a syndication show. We got a lot of that when we first started, and it kind of drove us crazy. And Bill and Ted, a lot of people kept calling us that. And so, hey, whatever you call us, we answered to just about anything.
Just don't call us late for dinner. Is that what they say?
Yes. And so, hey, we got some excitement going on tonight. We're actually going to bring in Jeff, which owns actually his wife owns it, but he kind of is there. He's always at the front door during Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Out there, yeah.
And he's going to be coming on the show, and he's going to talk a little bit about Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. And this year it's going to be crazy. I can't believe all the stuff that's going on. We got a video coming out tomorrow on Monday that's going to give you a really lowdown on this. There's over 30 bands playing during this event. This is going to be crazy. I'm not going to believe how. Hopefully we'll be able to cover everything that we can see that's going on. There's like 5 or 6 different venues going on with stuff going on, so it's really crazy. Monday's video will kind of give you that whole layout of everything that's going to be going on. We're going to be staying down in Eureka Springs. We'll be there on Sunday, late Sunday afternoon. We don't get the plane. They changed our landing, and we're not getting into like 6:05. By the time we get the car and stuff, it's probably gonna be about 9 or 10 o'clock by the time we get there. So we're not really anything we're gonna probably do on Sunday. There will be no live next Sunday unless something drastically happens at the airport or something. We'll turn it on. But other than that, there's no live next Sunday. So we'll have some lives all throughout the week. We'll be, like I say, we'll be down there on Monday. We're going to be talking to the police chiefs, hopefully in Rogers and in Eureka Springs. We're also going to be talking to some city leaders in both situations to give you some good information about what's going on. We're going to be meeting with the owner of Pig Trail Harley Davidson and give you a real rundown of all the things they've got going on. And then we're going to be all over the place trying to cover everything else for you guys. So we'll be Monday and Tuesday, we'll be running around doing that kind of stuff. So you'll see that night and the next night or the next morning, depending on when I get the videos up. And then you will also, then we'll start showing you all the different things that are going to be going on. So it's going to be a really great rally. Right now, so far, looking far ahead, this is looking way ahead on the radar. Looks like it's going to be pretty good weather. So, this is the time to think about going out there. If you have got plans, there's a bunch of campgrounds now. There's the Flathead Rally Point. They've got camping. They also got boondocking going on. They got boondocking going on over there at the farm. There's a whole bunch of others. Somebody else just wrote us that over by Rogers at the state park, they actually got in there. I think Pigeon something it's called. They got in there, so they're closer to Rogers for all the events going on there. It's about, when I look, it's about 38 miles distance from Rogers to Eureka Springs. But the great thing is it's a really great ride to go on. That's one of the things that's kind of nice about this is you're in what they call the Ozarks mountain area. And there's just a lot of really great riding to do. So anytime you can just get on your bike and ride. The first time I went out there, we talked about it. I almost flipped the freaking trailer over on the highway. There was 2 jackknives on the highway getting into Eureka Springs. I'm like, holy crap, on a freaking highway? It wasn't like Needles Highway. This was like an interstate, not interstate, but it was a state highway coming through. So it was a main road going through, and what a mess. Don't use Google. Get some local directions. We're also going to be meeting up with an old, I don't want to say he's an old timer, but he's been known about all the rides out there, the hills, for years and years and years. And he's going to give us his vast experience. We'll be meeting with him to tell us about some of these great rides. And we're going to try to get that up right away too. Maybe on Monday or Tuesday, we'll talk about some of those rides. We got to make sure we bring an Arkansas map so he can show us on there different, so we get different colored
Sharpies.
Yep. So we could draw the different things that we could show on the rides, and we could talk about it. So it's gonna be pretty neat. Maybe he'll even go on camera and talk about it. Well, I'll have to ask him and see if he will. But that's going to be lined up. There's a lot of people come out here and they tell you about all these rides, but unless you get somebody that actually lives in that area and have been there for 50 to 60 years in the same area, that knows that, rides his whole life, it's going to be a big difference from anybody else telling you about rides. There's a lot of guys that come out here, like tell you, the Pig Trail, you go out and see the bridge, go out and see the waterfall. That's all typical stuff. Everybody's going to tell you about those rides. But this guy's going to tell us about the rides you don't know about. It's kind of like the things we do when we go to Sturgis, when we find these locals that say, hey, did you check out the ride that follows along the train tracks? That's just priceless when you find those rides because they're not that important. What are you looking at?
He said, Rider X says, I see you put up a picture of my girlfriend.
Yeah.
We had to take one down.
Because there was a bad glare.
Yeah.
The one from last year.
That's this year.
She's on the floor. Oh, yeah. This is the one from this year. She had to get taken down because she was glaring. And so we took her down. And it may not be so bad now. Let me see if we put it back up, if it'll stay.
Shout out to both of you from Kingman. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Steve Rollins is in Kingman.
Kingman, Arizona.
I'm assuming so. There's David Eastwood. How you doing, David? A lot of you guys I talked to all afternoon. Fine energy, POV.
Yep. See, that's why we took it down, because of this glare.
Yeah, because you couldn't see it, so we figured why keep it up there.
So
that's why she's gone.
Yeah,
she's out of here.
We got to get all the lights set up. We kind of moved around different from where we are. We got we got 4 different walls in here now. So we want to move around and show you something different behind us. We got a bunch of blankets up and a backdrop and all this stuff trying to stop the echo. Sounds a little bit better today. And I'm gonna get some, once we get home, I'm gonna get some ceiling tiles to put up, some of the foam to put up on the ceiling. We're gonna bring a couch in here. This is where the lift is supposed to be whenever I can afford to get a lift. One I want, American made, is about $2,100. We already got one person donated $100 towards it, so we're on our way.
Yeah.
And I gotta save my pennies up. And because we're hoping, if everything goes right, we're hoping by the 1st of this January, we'll start on our first bike for veterans. And so we're going to see how that all goes. That gives me time to get it all started. We're working on getting a C501 if all works out. We're going to get that to be a nonprofit on the giveaway bikes, not on our YouTube channel, but on the giveaway bikes. And that way people can, if you want to donate, you actually give it to a charity. And where pretty much all that money is going to go to buying the bikes. We've got a couple of people we've talked to that, is it the right Shane?
Yep.
Shane, we tried to get a hold of you today.
No.
That Shane?
Nope, that's bad reputation. Is this in your shop? Yes, this is the studio part of the shop. So this is a 24 by 16 room inside the 50 by 60 building. Yeah,
so this is the part we were going to set up as our display for working on the bikes. So I'm planning on having a lift behind me here. And so that way I can set a bunch of cameras up, have everything all done, and all I gotta do is hit it, and then we can talk about the bike. I'm not gonna show you every single thing we do because it'd be really long videos, but we'll kind of give you a heads up of all the different things I'm doing, taking the bikes apart, putting them back together, things like that. We're just trying to get something different for when we're not doing motorcycle rallies. We can get you guys some things you might be interested in. So if some of you have been watching my short, I was a little off on the years. I was about 22 years, I was an auto mechanic. I was ASC certified auto mechanic. I worked at dealerships, but.
He says he likes your shovelhead shirt. That's a Tropical Willie's shirt.
And so I was an auto mechanic. I started out when I was 19 years old at the gas station and worked my way up. I started at a Ford dealership when I was in high school, went to a Chevrolet dealership, worked a lot of different places. Bad news is I don't work well with others. And when I had stupid people tell me stupid stuff to do, I just say adios. And I go down to the next shop and they'd hire me right on the spot. I never was out without a job. Never been fired in my life, got laid off once. And once, I only got laid off once. And because it was bad times back then. And they couldn't build cars, nobody was buying. It's kind of like what happened back in 2020 when all that pandemic happened, but it wasn't a pandemic. So that's kind of where I did that. And then I ended up going, and when we moved to California, I ended up working for a gas company. Actually, it was SoCal Gas in Southern California, the largest gas company in the United States. They have 20,000 square miles to cover. And I was a service technician. I was a guy that goes inside, I fixed appliances, all that kind of stuff. That's where I learned how to be able to work on furnaces and water heaters and tankless and all that kind of stuff. I learned from that. I learned how to find leaks and all that kind of good stuff. So I learned all that. So my whole life, I've been mechanically inclined.
Thank you.
Is that for the lift, towards
Probably
the lift?
For
We
the
got
lift.
another $200. So we're up to $200. We're moving along on the old lift. We'll get that soon. I finally found an American-made one. So I'm kind of excited about that for only $2,100. It's extra for the sides, but I figure I'm going to get those ones from Harbor Freight, those ramps, and I'm going to make my own, and which would be a lot better. So it'll be an air-operated one. It's all American-made, and I'm hoping that's going to work out great. That's my plan. So I'm pretty much mechanically inclined. If you watched the shorts a couple of weeks ago, actually a week ago, I actually worked on a little red truck we got, a little Ranger. I'm actually going to give it to one of my grandsons, the second one. First one was supposed to get a vehicle from her, but his dad said, I'm giving him my first car. Well, so that's what he did. I didn't have to go buy an old truck. Still looking at an old truck. We got to find Devin. He was supposed to send me some pictures.
He put a thing up. They're still a little bit away from their
license plates. We think
no, not license plates.
No.
It's they wanted $20,000 to give, and they're like 18 something. So they're about $2,000 off, and they've got until September 22nd to raise that money. So if any of you guys,
that's for Wyatt's Lemonade.
Yeah, where's he at?
He's also collecting license plates. He's actually doing cars and motorcycles. We think we got an Arizona one at home. She just remembered now. It's actually an ATV plate, but it looks just like a motorcycle plate. And it's old, expired, so we'll send it. Okay, heck, somebody else sent us money.
I'm right.
Are you putting that on the board?
I am. I will now.
And thank you. Got
That was
another
$300.
$300 towards our lift. Holy,
He's gonna drop down everything he's holding on to here.
And so that's the whole idea is, so once we get the lift, and then we're going to go, we've got a couple dealerships that we've talked to that are interested in working with us on bikes. We're hoping working, they mean like giving us a bike. If not, what we're going to be doing is going out to the auction. Being that we're in Arizona, you can actually go to the auctions, the insurance auctions, and you don't need a dealer license. It's one of the few states that doesn't require one. So I don't have to pay somebody. Like if I go to Vegas and buy them, I've got to pay $250 for somebody to buy it. Plus there's a % charge and all that. So we're thinking maybe before Sturgis or before the end of the year, I might be looking for her like a Sportster, something that I can get that won't take a whole lot of money to buy. And it'll be an extra bike that we'll have, something she can putt around on. And maybe we'll drag it to a rally or something with us to putt around on a Sportster versus my big bike where we're riding around the campground and stuff like that. We're going to talk about that at the end. We're going to tell you about where we're staying at.
In Sturgis this year.
And if you're one of our loyal subscribers, we've already contacted you and told you where it was at because
Or if you stayed with us last year.
That's right. We want to let everybody know first. We only have 10 spots. Holy smokes, 10 spots. That's really good for a small campground. So we are not going to the Buffalo Chip, but we are going to have a setup in the Buffalo Chip. One of our Michael, that came out just for those few rainy days, is I just called him today and told him we'd fix him up with something. All you gotta do is pay for the RV. I'd get him the spot and we get him the passes to do all the filming and stuff. And then we'll be in there too. That's another thing we want to tell you about, which we'll remind you later on, that on Tuesday, this Tuesday coming up, 2 days from now, passes are going on sale for the Buffalo Chip. Rod has told us that his concert lineup this year that he's looking at is going to be bigger and better than last year.
Yeah,
I was pretty pleased with
last year.
Awesome. But I mean, it wasn't the best country band that he had. 100 people. I don't know if Limp Bizkit was enough for you or not. But I mean, there was a couple other ones. They had Buck Cherry. But I mean, when you go back and look at these posters, I got a bunch of them from the last 4 years. A lot of the same bands come back every year. Buck Cherry, Shinedown. I don't know. You have to look through some of them. Yeah. Pop Evil. A lot of these come back.
Black Label Society.
So a lot of those keep coming back, and I think that's why they come back is because of the of that style of music. So we're gonna have to wait and see. We didn't talk to him a whole lot this the other day. She just called him, wanted to double check that he was going to go on sale. But if you're thinking about going to Sturgis, even if you're not staying with us, even if you don't know if you're going to go or not, go buy your passes for the Buffalo Chip. Buy them right away. They're probably going to be, I don't know, I'm going to guess around $250 to $275. He gave us no prices, but normally he comes out that first day. He's going to come out with some really good prices, and so we're hoping that there'll be some good prices. We're going to talk to him about giving some freebies away too. So we're going to talk about seeing if we can get some passes from him, like we did a couple years ago, and give away free. So we'll see how that goes. So pretty exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. And we're pretty excited. We head out on Tuesday to Vegas. And what the heck are you going to do in Vegas? Oh, I just found out. If you're anywhere near Vegas, we're putting it on the calendar. I haven't bought my tickets yet, but we're going to the Pawn Stars annual poker run. It's always the same ride, but who cares? But you get to meet all them guys in there.
Chumley and Corey and
the old man's dead. Rick. And they're really nice. They take pictures with you and all that stuff. So it's really, really great. That put that on your calendar. If you're anywhere near Las Vegas, it's October 21st.
Yeah, we just had
it's only if you book now,
Scott.
up until October something, you can get for $20. I think it's $30 for the rider, $20 for the passenger, and then it's going to jump $5 or $10 after October 20th, which is actually the next day it starts. So you're giving you a long time to pick it up. So pretty exciting. Got a lot of things to talk about tonight. We also want to give a dedication at the end, so hang around all the way till we peter out here tonight to the very end. I took that picture. Doesn't that look pretty neat? It's a little blurry when you get real close to it, but it is what it is. And there's our old buddy Willie
G, and me.
And pretty exciting.
I think his name was Steve. Steve said he's in Kingman.
So anybody that's around the Laughlin area, actually Mike, which isn't on now, our wedding guru guy that got married in Sturgis, he wanted to do something unique, and maybe we might do this one day. That I actually have a bar at the house, since we're getting all the stuff out of here and back over to the shop. that we want to get the bar back in order. We actually have a Harley bar at home. And he said, wouldn't it be great to have a bunch of local people that are your subscribers come in and we'll talk about different stuff and we'll put it online. And so I said, that's not a bad idea, but I just don't know how many people I have in this area that actually watch our channel. I don't know. We've never done a meet and greet here, so I don't know. I know we've had people come in and stop in and talk to us, but
we know people we meet in Sturgis that live here in Bullhead.
Yeah.
And then Mike is in Phoenix, and then in Golden Valley we have Mohawk Mike,
yeah.
And then this Steve, he's down in Kingman. So I guess we got lots of people.
So Mike, we might do something. Well, Mike actually wants to have a big old party out here in the parking lot. 1 acre lot wants to have 1,000 people show up, which I don't think that's going to happen. And I do have a beer kegerator out here, but we haven't decided if I'm going to sell it.
Ben's going to stay at Kickstands. He got it a few weeks ago.
There you go. A lot of people like that. So here we go. What we've got coming up tonight is Jeff. That is, I guess I would call him co-owner. His wife actually runs the bar and everything there. The Cat House. If you are a Adam Sandoval watcher, he's there a lot. We were there 2 years ago. Very hospitality man. He actually came to Daytona, took us out for breakfast to discuss some of the events that they have going on there. They also do a spring rally, which is kind of neat. We didn't make it there this year. It was really cold.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like in the 40s, I think. Yeah. And so this year is going to be great weather. This one comes up here just in about a week from now. We'll actually be there in a week on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep. A week from now, we'll be in Eureka Springs. So it's pretty neat. So let me put my little earbud on so I can hear him talk because Tam's already got hers on. And so I'll be able to hear him. So let's bring Jeff on. I can't see what it says.
Add to image.
There we go. Add image. See, hey, there we go. We can make us full size. Hey, you're gone.
Oh, well.
We'll put you back on. There you go. We'll stick with that. All right. So this is Jeff. He's we'll put you down as co-owner of the Cat House, because I know the wife runs it really. And but you're there all the time. And he's the muscle at the door. So tell us a little bit about what you see going on and what's going to be going on during Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue coming up. We've got about a week and a half to go, and it's going to start.
Well, Bob, and you'll see when you get here, man, this is what I see that's going on that's different than last year, because I know there's a lot of things where Roger's not this, not that, not on Dickens Street, Fayetteville left, all that. Here's what the deal did, is last year, because there was some little hiccups and stuff, it made everybody step up their game. And I think you can tell by the advertisements that's out there right now. So Adam Sandoval and some other people invested in a campground for a few years and opened a new venue called Flatheads out there. Great concert lineup. In Eureka Springs City itself got involved with the parking deal and has got a bunch of free parking downtown for bikes only, which they seen the problem a little bit, embraced that. Rogers opened up their parking for downtown Rogers, and some people are complaining about the schedule, but hey, let's give them a chance, man. The infrastructure looks better down there. Of course, Pig Trail, Harley Davidson, they always step up their game. They're the place to go see for the vendors, just like any other rally and everything else there. Plus, they got a great concert lineup down there, food, all that stuff. So it's just got bigger this year. That's what I think.
So what? I know you guys serve food. What kind of specials are you guys going to have on food this year?
We stick with the same menu, Bob. I mean, the Cat House is something that a lot of people, they spend. It's a destination. It's became a destination over the years. It's been around since 1989. We're still known for the Reuben. You know what I mean? It's slow cooked, 18 hours. You know what I mean? We don't deviate from too much here. It's work for us. We stick with it. You know what I mean? So we'll have some barbecue people on the porch doing some tri-tip steak sandwiches. Bob, you're from California. You can't go to a rally without tri-tip steak sandwiches.
That's true.
I'm from there too, so it's easy to adopt that and put a grill on our porch. And I'm telling you, those guys are badass. They're from a local company here. He whoops them out, and they're perfect every time. We'll have the food downtown. This is what I want to, and I think you guys will see that, and that's why I'm so glad you're coming, man, because you guys are real good about putting out the information on a daily basis of what's going on. So Eureka Springs is getting a lot of attention this year. You know what I mean? Because there's multiple things going around on in a very short square footage here. The city's putting on a concert down there in the auditorium. You know, there's another campground that's out here just 5 miles east of town. The local bars have all stepped up. So Eureka's really put themselves on the map, and without really trying, we became the new destination for that downtown feel. You guys know, you do Sturgis, man. Bob, I think you said this too, bro. That'd be like taking downtown Sturgis, the strip, and saying, okay, hey man, we're not gonna do it no more. We're gonna do it in Spearfish. You think it's gonna have the same? You think it's gonna have the same fucking feel? I mean, let's be honest about it. Let's be honest about it. You can't recreate what people come to see. You know what I mean? I think we do. I think we've always done that in Eureka. We've been set up for it. The problem is we have to have this be a Northwest Arkansas rally because we don't have enough infrastructure here to deal with 300,000 bikes. You know that. You know the answers, Bob. I mean, you're an intelligent guy here. It's got to be a Northwest Arkansas deal because you need the motel rooms downtown. I think it's a great part, just like I think we're so similar to Sturgis is unreal because it's never been about just downtown. It's the campgrounds, it's Deadwood, it's Spearfish, it's fucking Wyoming and everything else. Excuse my language, Tam. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's looks like this year is really. I'm almost thinking if it's as big as I'm seeing, this thing needs to be started out be a week long. Well,
it always was, Bob, and I think that's why I'm glad that I've always stayed neutral. I don't have to pad what I say, but you know what I mean. Some people have to watch what they say. They think because they don't want to offend somebody. Yeah, it's going to be a week long. It has been in the past before. It's a week long here at the Cat House. We start that weekend before. You know what I mean? And people that come in like you guys come in early. We get a lot of the travelers that come, just like in Sturgis, bro. They come a couple days before to avoid the crowds. They stay for the first couple days and boogie before they hit the traffic. You know, we get that crowd, brother. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So are you guys going to have bands at your place day and evening too?
Oh yeah. So we went we're doing a tribute to the women this year. Brooke White kind of started with us about 4 years ago. We moved her to Saturday night. She is becoming one of the hottest little acts around. We got Jasmine Kane out at Flatheads too on Thursday night. She and Jasmine Kane remind me a lot alike. I mean, they just got a great following. She's a young girl, man. So we got her Saturday night. Friday night, we have a special guest. We're not going to announce to the last minute. We're just going to rock some people out. We want it to be a surprise because I don't really want to. Listen, Bob, I think we talked about this when we were in Daytona. The only way that the Cat House is what it is because there's multiple things to do in Eureka Springs. I don't want to step on no one's toes or make it any more difficult for everybody to be a part of this thing. So I'm going to wait to announce to the last minute because I'm at capacity now anyways. I'm glad that you know what I'm talking about, brother. It doesn't matter who I have playing in that. I'm not trying to be cocky, but it doesn't really matter who we have playing in that beer garden because we have enough people that come up here every year just to see their friends.
Just for the atmosphere.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Ryder X wants to know, is it a bar and a restaurant or is it a hotel as well?
Full service bar, restaurant, and hotel. It's the Cat House, sir. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got some rooms there.
Yeah, they do.
So it's pretty neat if you watch. Actually, I've got a video coming out tomorrow, and it actually shows us driving down the road and pulling into the front of the Cat House. If you looked at the thumbnail this morning, that this was actually the background was the Cat House. So we kind of put that on there to kind of give people a tease of who our guests might be. But I mean, it's a really cool, it's quite like Deadwood, but it's a really close atmosphere to that. Coming down that hill into the town, it's a really cool atmosphere that's there. And it's a really small town. I don't know, how many people live in there?
2,000 people, Bob.
Okay. So it's not quite half as big as Sturgis because people always think, oh, Sturgis is so big. Sturgis only got 7,000 people. It's not a big city or town either. And 2,000 is still a good sized town. It's not a 500 where they only got a bar and a hotel. I mean, a bar and a post office. And but yeah, I think this year that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that we're not gonna be able to cover everything because there's so much stuff going on. I counted it up just on what they've got on listed on the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue website is over 30 bands are playing in the area. It's like, that's unreal. I said, I'm not even sure if Sturgis has 30 bands playing through the week that they're there. And I mean, that's a big number. That's counting Rogers and Eureka Springs and everything around that. But I mean, that's not even going into what's that other town, Boonville?
Bentonville.
Bentonville. Do they have much going on there? I know they got a ride going out there, a veterans ride. Do they do anything?
Yeah. Well, I think the fire department, I seen something just the other day, something else was going on there. But when you can barely tell where you cross over the line between Rogers and Bentonville. So, and it's always been about that. And since, Kyle's at one side of Rogers and then going to the auditorium and stuff where the vendors are at, that covers the other side, which is right in Bentonville, basically. Okay. So, yeah, it's pretty much, it's spread all out through there. And, and the same businesses like Arts Place, downtown Fayetteville, that bikes have been going to for 20 years because of Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. They still go there. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. So you can't. I love it when these entities think they can control where we're going to go spend our money.
Yeah.
It cracks me up. You know what I mean? Because we're going to go where we want to spend our money, not where you direct us. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's very right. That's why I said that's one of the reasons we do it. We show all these different options of people to go to. And we always like, we didn't give out any names yet, but we said how we're going to get to sit down with somebody that knows a lot of the back roads to ride on. And there's a lot of people now talking about all these great rides, but it's until you get that really local person that's been living there their whole life, they know the rides that nobody knows about. And those are the ones we're hoping we're going to get with him, and we'll be able to talk about that. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday.
And we want to give a big shout out and a thanks to Jeff for inviting us there and helping us get there. And he's been a big part of us going there. And we've always wanted to go back, but.
Hey, that being said, I want to say something too about that. So, listen, Bob, I think you and Tam are one of the very few honest YouTubers out there, and tell people and give people your opinion based on your perspective, which is a customer's perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the things I don't hear you saying, oh, we should. I think you do it because you've seen what's happening in it. You want to help a rally grow where you see that there might make mistakes. I think you're one of the most valuable tools on YouTube, and I appreciate even being on your channel, man.
Why, thank you. We appreciate that. We try to give, that's like we used to go to the rallies. We used to go to some of the rallies. We went to Sturgis a few times, and it seemed like, which I always ask people the same question. I said, are you doing, like, let's say somebody's been to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue 20 times. I said, do you do the same place, eat the same place, stay at the same place, do all the same things? They're like, yeah. I'm like, don't do that. Go find other things to do. Go out and, go out and explore.
Outside your box.
And that's kind of what we do with our channel, because we did that. We were guilty of that too. And I want to show people that, hey, maybe you go to this place and eat. Maybe right across the street could be a really cool place. You ought to go check it out. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But I mean, there's always.
Don't know till you try.
Well, you never know. There's so many great places. Well, she finally found the chicken place we ate at. Somebody took us to 2 years ago. What's the name of that?
Monte New.
Monte New over by Rogers.
MONTE and then NE.
Haven't been there.
They're supposed to be. Well, I'm a big fried chicken guy, and it's one of those places where they bring it all out in bowls, and you get your potatoes, you get everything you want. It's all you can eat. They do take reservations, but they don't open till, what I say, 5 in the evening till 8, and then on Sunday it was noon until 8. And so, and they recommend reservations.
No, you have to have reservations.
Well, they recommended it.
I don't think you'll get in if you don't have reservations.
Yeah. But it's a really cool place. We're going to make sure we try to get back there to eat, because I love fried chicken. We don't have any place around here to eat chicken.
Yeah, and I'm sure, Bob, I mean, you found that fried chicken place because you probably looked it up. You want to see the best fried chicken place in the area. So then you went to it because you were here at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. You're not people's because they of course, we want to draw you in for attention. That's what I was trying to tell you. I think it's going to be bigger this year than it has in many years. Because it has brought back competition. It has brought back competition, and that serves the public better. You know what I mean?
Well, I've always been, when we went 2 years ago, it was kind of when Fayetteville said, screw us all. And that's when I said Rogers was such a cool town. I said, that's really where it needs to be. And a lot of people complained last year, but I mean, it's their first year. They had no idea what they're going to do. And, they don't have the streets completely closed down all the time. But I mean, they made a good push for what they're doing. They are making a move.
It'll take them a few years to figure it out.
And when they figure it out and they start seeing that money roll in, then they're going to say, we need to do a little more with this.
Well, just like Eureka has opened up their arms and said, come on to us.
Well, we've always done that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to let y'all figure out that question when we're there. But the Cat House, we carried this thing on when Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue didn't even have their rally for 2 years.
That's true.
When they were trying to test the market and negotiating in Rogers, they didn't come up here and bring Eureka into it. But Eureka kept going. TheCat House is going to do what it's going to do. I think we know our customer base, and I'm going to entertain customers here.
That's
And
right. These are our winners right here too. Jason and Jody, they're the ones that won the stay out there at Flathead Rally Point. Yep. No, the Flathead Rally Point.
Hey.
And so they're all excited about
they're coming from.
Hey, they're gonna have a blast out there.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a blast.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a great. It's just that's why I said there's just so much stuff going on. It's just like hopefully by the time we get there, there'll be at least somewhat schedule of because we want to be there when Adam does his hill climbing. And I know he was having trouble with insurance the other day. I seen a video he put up. And,
did you see the comment, Jeff?
What?
It says I'm lost. Are there girls going to be there?
Well, you know that because of people like Bob and Tam and Mexi Phil and a bunch of YouTubers, man, the Cat House has got to know some of the best rally bartenders across the country. And I'm telling you, we got them here and Flatheads.
Oh,
I got about 20 of them coming in.
That and especially like him, he's coming from he'd be coming from the East Coast. He hasn't seen any of those Midwest girls.
Well, they got that Southern draw here, Bob.
Yeah.
That's what Mark says. Any chance of making the rally longer? Like Jeff said, people do come earlier and they stay a little bit longer. So you can make the rally as long as you want it. The Cat House is always there. Eureka's always there. It's a great place to go, even if there isn't a rally going on.
But sometimes you get to see, because
Bob, he just answered. I'm sorry, Bob.
Go ahead.
He just answered the question right there, man. It's not. It's we here at the Cat House in Eureka Springs. We're a tourist town 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So it's the people that make the rally a week longer. I can put dates to it and have bands here and stuff like that, and I'll be more than happy to do that if that's what the bands work. But next year, that's what I'm pushing for is at least a 7-day rally because. Yeah. And Bob, you'll talk about it. I don't like doing negatives and stuff like that, but I think we need to get back a little bit to the blues. I think we need a big bike show with a big name. You know what I mean, like Billy Lane or somebody.
Billy's right.
Well, Tam, that's why I threw it out there, Tam. I've seen that, but next time you're at Billy's here, tell him that Eureka Springs would love to.
We need to find a dirt track out there so we can. We need to find a dirt trip, so we could get out. The Sons of Speeds would come out.
Yeah,
Bob,
that'd be great to have.
I think I've proved myself by now. I think we're on the same track, and I'm not going to say it's going to happen by next year, but it's on the agenda, and I'm working.
Because it's we're Rod from the Buffalo Chip. His track should be open by next year now. And
but Rod's going for the big races and stuff like that.
He wants the Sons of Speed. Well, he loves Billy Lane too, and Billy's one of his friends, so he that's what he said. He told them when the flat track, he says, I still want to be able to have the Sons of Speeds come out and race too. And they agreed to that. So he's still going to do that too. But, well, to me, it's just to have the race like in Sturgis there. It's stupid to have the races way out there in Rapid City. Nobody even knows where that's at unless you flew in on an airplane. And so it's like
right out there next to the airport.
Yeah. So it's just neat stuff. And I can say, I'm really excited. I want to be there when Adam tries to climb the hill. Hopefully he'll be successful, but we'll film it either way.
He's going against Shade Tree Surgeon on the Gold Wing, right?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Shade Tree's coming now. He's building a Gold Wing with some kind of crazy front end and riding here at last minute to go against them going up the hill.
Oh, well, we're definitely going to have to watch that. That would be. I seen him say that he was going to come out too. So that'll be kind of neat to see him come up there. And there's a lot of YouTubers that are coming. We talked to the Badgers the other day. And so there's a lot of YouTubers that we know that are going to be showing up. So that's going to be great. I think they're even going to have a ride that's going to come into your place.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday or something.
Well, we always try to do the meet and greet. Bob, you'd be a fool not to touch on the market or be involved with all the influences.
Yeah.
And to touch on that point a little bit, Bob, you guys go around a lot. You just came from big influence meters at Buffalo Tip.
Yeah.
I think we're on the right side of that. I think we have a lot of the big names coming up here for this thing.
Oh, yeah.
So and we're trying. We have always done that. We've been doing that for a few years now. So I think we're on the right side of that.
Yeah, we had at the Buffalo Chip. They had the MC guy up there, and he was like, I was standing next to him. He's like, somebody had scratched down all the names, and he's like, I can't read this writing. Well, who is this? Who is this? And then Adam Sandoval standing in front filming, and he's like, anybody else here? Anybody else here? And I'm like, there's Adam Sandoval right there. It was like in Prime Cup Pro and all those guys, and it's like, oh
well,
my
see,
God.
you don't, that guy's probably not that much into social media, so he doesn't really realize. I mean, we even have that too. We have some YouTubers will come up to us and say, oh, I'm so-and-so, and it's like, well, it's actually too tall. When we met him a couple years ago, traveling tall. We met him a couple years ago, and we were actually in Daytona, and he walked up to me and he says, you're a YouTuber, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's seen us, we just finished up with a live. And he says, so am I. And I'm like, I have no idea who you are. And he says, I'm traveling tall. And I'm like, okay, I'll check you out. And, you know, I've never, you know, but there's hundreds of thousands of us probably out here. And it's hard to meet every single person. And especially with us, we're videotaping every day and editing every day. So it's hard for me to even sit down and watch.
We don't watch near as much.
To where a lot of times,
all we watch,
you know, it's like Adam, if I see him put something up, I'll watch a few seconds to see what he says. But I mean, I hardly have any time anymore to even watch anybody's videos.
Yeah. Well, but that's what's good about you guys, especially when you're here doing the rally. You do put out a lot of information. I mean, and that's and hopefully your viewership is growing from that and stuff like that. Because to us and me, I think you guys are one of the best at it. You know what I mean?
Keep breaking up.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Hello? Yeah, you broke up for a second there.
Are you still on?
I'm sorry.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I see you. We see you.
Yeah.
And
but you broke up a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about all this, and hopefully the internet's going to be good out there. Hopefully I'm going to have some good internet.
Oh, we're bringing our hotspots?
I doubt that.
No, well, we bring all of our hotspots. We have AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Hopefully one of them will be able to get some kind of internet. Or where we're staying at, maybe they've got some in-house internet or something that might pick up. So we'll see what happens. Usually something works.
Yeah.
And we're never, the only place I'm exception to is out at Adam's campground. There is nothing out there. Not even a phone.
We've been going to Antlers and
we got to sit at the library.
Then it still took 3 hours to upload a 10-minute video.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, that's one of the reasons he wonders why we don't come out there. And I'm like, I can't, one, he's got a ton of YouTubers already out there, and it's just let them do that. I said, we'll come on some other time when there's some other event going on, but no need to be there with all the other excitement going on.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat. We want to thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody?
No, I'm good, man. Thank you.
Okay, we thank you, appreciate it, and we'll see you in a week.
Okay, take it easy, Bob.
All right.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, so that was Jeff from the Cat House. We want to thank him for coming on, taking a little time, and tell you guys a little bit about what he's thinking about the rally. I'm really excited about it this year. What makes Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue so exciting is it's what I talk about, what makes a great rally. You know, one of the great things that make a rally is the number one thing is riding. You know, no matter what you say.
If you're going to a motorcycle rally, you want good riding.
That's right. So number one, you want to have good riding. So many of these rallies suck for riding. Everyone in Florida sucks. You know, you can ride on a city street or you can ride along the coast. But I mean, it's not really, it just isn't that way. We're getting ready to go to Ocean City. There's going to be no good riding there. They're riding on the boardwalk for one of the parades. You know, big deal, riding on a boardwalk. But I mean, if you never did, you don't fall off and go off the side. But I mean, so many of these rallies don't have any really good riding in the area. Well, this is actually in the Ozarks. Part of this is actually in Missouri, the Ozarks, and it goes all the way down into there. They're down off of Table Rock Lake. There's a great lake to go down there and check out and see.
Beautiful area.
You're going to see all kinds of trees. You're going to see animals. But I mean, number one thing that makes it great is the riding. So the second thing that makes rallies good is good vendors. You know, we're not going to have any of the super big trucks there, but over at Pig Trail Harley, what do you say? I have 60 dealers, between 60 and 70. That he's going to have there. There are also going to be some downtown in there. They also have some in Eureka Springs at the Harley dealer.
There's going to be some out of Flathead, Rally Point. Yep. There's going to be vendors all over, but the big trucks are going to be out of Pig Trail.
Yeah. So all the big people that we talk about, Fair and Exchange and all about customs and wide open customs. I think Rick Rack's going to bring their small truck out there, which is actually, it looks, you can't tell the small truck from the big truck.
It's their old truck. So
yeah. So they'll be there. So there'll be a lot of great stuff for you guys to get. So that's the second thing I always say that makes a rally really good. The third thing is the people that live there. Okay, this is a list. Okay, why do I say that? Because you're going to find people there. You just walk up to somebody on the street and say something to them, they're going to talk to you. They're not like that in Daytona. You don't know if you walk up to somebody, you don't know if the guy's going to shoot you or rob you or sleep on the side of the road because he you know, the guy that was out there in Daytona, she thought the guy we crossed off Main Street, went down the A1A, she thought the guy was dead. We probably passed him 3 times. Finally, I kicked him.
2 or 3 days. He was laying in that same spot, same clothes, didn't move. I'm like,
and that's what it is. Daytona, when there's nothing down there on Main Street, it's just not a safe area for people to be in. Well, what you're going to find here is you're going to find a lot of, I call it the good old boy area. You're going to find people that's really nice. They're going to go out of their way. They'll give you directions. They'll help you. Whatever you need, you're going to find that. And that's what makes it good. Another thing, the third thing that kind of helps out on this situation, actually it's the fourth thing I guess I'm at, is the people that actually come to the rally. You're not going to get the guys coming in flip-flops and shorts and all that kind of stuff, riding bikes that they only ride once in a blue moon. Most of the people that are coming to this rally are going to be people that ride for a living. You know, we ride all the time. They put a lot of miles on their bikes and stuff. So when you get out on the trails and stuff on the roads, you're going to get some pretty good riding. Also, if you're a guy that brings dirt bike or an ATV or UTV, there's a bunch of off-road riding you can do too out there. So that's just some of the great things. And it's, even though Rogers is 38 miles away, you're going to enjoy that ride doing that 38 miles. It's going to be a great ride to go out there. There's all kinds of stuff. The Pig Trail is probably the most famous ride to go to. One end, actually, somebody told us there's a big old giant truck stop. It's a great place to eat at one end, which is, I think it's up by Rogers. And then the other end, we never went all the way to the end. We only stopped down at the
all the way down
store.
to the 40, which is, it's probably close to an hour down that way.
Yeah. So we've only gone about halfway through it. Somebody took us last year, 2 years ago we went. Now we're going to do a lot more riding. So last time we got there like on Wednesday and we left on Sunday. So we didn't really have a lot of time to see everything that was going on. At that point, Fayetteville was done. It was just pretty much, you know, there's an Indian dealer there. They have some vendor trucks on there. We're going to talk about it tomorrow on the video. We're going to show you where all the vendors are at. We're going to show you a little bit of the riding that we did when we were there. But it's just kind of a really good way. What are you looking for?
They want to know, because people can't go this year. They want to know what the dates are for next year.
I think it's always the same weekend. What weekend is this? I don't know. Well, it's the last weekend of
the second to last.
Okay, so it's the same weekend every year.
Yeah. So it's the 4th weekend of September?
Yes. So it's always that 4th weekend. So the 3rd and the 4th. We're getting there on the 3rd because we're going to be there a week from now. We're going to be pulling in there on Sunday night. And then we'll be getting the bike and all that stuff. Picture of Harley's setting us up with a bike. So it's really great. We appreciate everybody that helps us in this situation. We appreciate the 2 guys that just gave us money to help with the lift that we're trying to buy. We're $300 closer to getting that puppy built or picking it up. So we do appreciate that. And you don't know how much it's, the sad news is we've spent a lot of our money and we're proud out of money. I still got a few more things that we've got to picture. But
you wanted to know where we're staying in Sturgis. He didn't know if he missed it. Not yet.
Well, not yet. We haven't
said it yet.
We'll say it before we're over.
Hang in there.
So hang in there. So we'll talk about that in a minute. We're still talking about
tonight.
We're still talking about bikes, blues, and barbecue, and telling you all that great stuff about that place because we had Jeff come on tonight. It was really special. And I didn't want to make it just bikes, blues, and barbecue because we're also going to Ocean City. We're going to be down there for the concerts. We had a bike set up. If anybody's got a bike they would like to loan us during that event, let us know. Anybody that goes to Ocean City, do you know of a demo truck for Harley that comes to that? That would help us a lot. We called them and they said if they had a demo truck, they would try to get us a bike. Corporate would try to do.
But I looked, it doesn't look like there's a demo,
but I can't believe it. For a big rally like that, they're talking, saying that they say, which we'll see when we get there, that it is the biggest rally on the East Coast. You know, Daytona's on the East Coast. So I really want to see how many people come to this event. Now we're hearing the concerts and stuff are going to be insane. Because it's the inlet, that's the problem we have is we don't have a bike. So we have to ride the train, not the train, but the buses, the shuttles, whatever they have. And everybody's telling me that's a nightmare. It takes about an hour or 2 to get there, an hour or 2 to get back. It's bad enough on a motorcycle. So we're hopefully going to talk to Chase, that's the promoter. Maybe we can find a way we can get in and park wherever he parks. I know he doesn't have a motorcycle.
So Linda, email us. She said she's got some really fun things to do down there at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. There's a church with a glass stained window and coins on the road. So
let us know.
Yeah.
We're always looking for new adventures.
Text us. Or not text us, email us, Linda. Thank you.
Does she live down there?
I don't know. Linda, do you live down there? Linda Munderit.
If you live there, you can send us your phone number and we'll send you a phone number. You can contact us when we're down there. We have a Bob and Tam's phone. We don't give it out to everybody because we don't want to get spam calls and all that. And we have to tell you how to call us because we don't answer the phone. And so
Dave's Crazy Trailer. Oh, do you want to show him that?
What? Oh.
It's not his, but he's on one of them.
He's coming to, Dave's Crazy Trailers coming to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
I'm pretty sure.
He did. He told me the other day.
Oh, okay.
So I've been working on my stickers. Stickers. I gotta put my glasses on because I can't see them. We don't have the light real bright. So we start up here at the top, and it's 2 Up Journey Junkies. And then we've got something in Spoke. We met that guy a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
There's the Horny Harley Hunkers. I don't know where we met them at.
That was down at Milwaukee. They were at the.
Here's G Rather. It's on here. Here's AKA ZZ Rider. Here's Harley One Forever. I got this from the National Museum because it's closed up now. They just had their auction. Here's Guns and Rides. I don't know where we met them at. Here's Crazy Gentleman. He does podcast. Here's Harley Frank. Here's the Upset podcast. Here's a friend of ours that's a YouTuber. We met him last year in Daytona, which is Nomadic Fanatic. That's his magnet. Here's Hell on 2 Wheels, which they're almost RV people now. Tennessee Wingman. Here's Camp Easy Ride, their sticker. Then we got Tropical Willie's Chopper Time. We got Wims Motor Company. He's got a YouTube channel. Tennessee Music Revival. Here's 48 and 48. 48 states in 48 days.
There they are. That's him.
I know. And then we got Maiden Moto. Then we got Powell Moto.
Powell Moto's not on.
And then we have Long Star RV TV. I got a couple other ones that I haven't got on this board because I'm running out of room.
Yep.
So we got to go get another piece of metal. And then I got about.
Ryder Rex says there's usually a Harley Davidson demo truck there. Okay. Is it at the convention center or down at the stadium?
Or is it at the dealership? I called the dealership today, but the girl had no idea on the answer machine, or not answer machine, but the switchboard girl, she says, I have no freaking idea. She says, I'll give you to the marketing person and she'll call you tomorrow. So I gave her phone number and said, call. There's what George said. George said there's one down there.
No, that was Ryder X. Ryder X says there's usually an HD demo truck. So that's good. Because if there is one there, they said that they could probably get us.
But we'll only probably have it for Thursday till Saturday or Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It's really Sunday morning anyway, so probably Saturday night we'd have to
probably
back
Saturday
off,
night because they'll probably take off Saturday. Usually Saturday.
We want to be there because Wednesday we're thinking, because I had no idea about Ocean City. They have 2 venues. One is like 30 miles away and it's at a stadium. And there's a bunch of vendors there. And then they've got the convention center and there's a bunch of vendors there. Then down at the inlet, there's some vendors there. He's talking to 120 vendors.
We need
just in those 2 locations, not even counting what's out at, because I don't think he does the stadium. So that's what we're hoping to do Wednesday when we get there. We're talking 2 weeks ahead.
It'll be down at the ball stadium, they said, the baseball stadium.
Okay, well, I'll just have to call him and tell him that's where you heard it's going to be at.
His tea, that's all he drinks, tea. A little bit of milk and gallons and gallons and gallons.
I didn't drink too much tea today. I'm still on my second
Yes.
jug. You should drink at least 2 jugs a day. Keeps me hydrated.
So Linda says, no, they live in Nebraska, but they go riding there every year. Sounds
Coming
good.
down for this year?
Are you going to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, or do they just go down that area? Maybe their family live down there.
So it's really neat.
I know
And
that.
we may continue to go down there, just depending on how things go. This next year is going to be a crazy year because we're probably going to wrap up the East Coast. And then we'll try to hit different places after that. So a lot of neat stuff's going on. I got my pin collection out, all my pins for my jacket and stuff. I probably have 500 pins.
We've been collecting them for years.
Well, they're all over our vest to start with. We used to be hog riders. I never belonged to a club. I was only a hog rider. Yeah. So I never was really. So here's my tip today for what are you pointing at?
I'm just irritating you.
You're gonna get a twister in a minute. You shouldn't be jumping around. And
oh, there is not usually. He said. I thought he said there was, but somebody else said there was one down there at the stadium. Kevin says Harley and Indian usually have a demo truck down in Salisbury at the baseball stadium. Oh, there is not usually a demo truck. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. I read what I want.
So keep looking around where I can't, that's what I cannot believe that at all. Because what we're hearing from the vendors is this is one of the most profitable rallies for just a short period of time. That the people on the East Coast spend a lot of money. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I mean, I couldn't believe, why would you not bring a demo truck?
That's what George says. He said their Indian motorcycle will be at the stadium in Salisbury, not seeing a HD demo truck.
It's kind of sad. So how big is that? How big is that Rommel Harley Davidson? Is that a very big? On the internet, it looks like it's a pretty big dealership. I couldn't believe they don't hound and say we want a truck out here. I don't know. I can't believe that. That's really sad, especially if Indians coming, because Indian don't go to a lot of the events. So I don't know where there is. There an Indian dealer close by in Ocean City?
Oh, you know what? I probably have some in my pouch.
What?
XM Biker said, he says, I know you probably just haven't put my sticker up because I gave you one. We've been finding them kind of all over. So there's some we probably have that we don't have up yet. Oh, he said there's a stadium and vendors parked across the street from the stadium too. Thing, I didn't know how tall.
Oh, here's what I was going to say before she started. Here's my tip about 1%ers. I actually seen a video today and that made me think about it again. You can actually buy patches. You can buy all the patches for the Hells Angels, the Mongols, wherever you want. You can go on SSC and buy them. You can buy them on Amazon. You can also buy them on eBay. Good news is, don't do that. It's a sure way to get into trouble. Actually, there was a short was put out this morning by a Mongol that, I don't think it was a Mongol. I think somebody was filming it. And they had a camera in the car. And it filmed it. The guy came over. The guy was on, I think he was on a Harley, full dress Harley. And I don't know how the guy figured it wasn't his. I don't know if the patches weren't 100%. You know, I don't know what the issue was. All you could see was the Mongol guy came over and just ripped the vest off the guy's back. And the guy just stood there. And the Mongol kind of said a few words, but you couldn't hear nothing because the camera's inside the guy's car. And then the Mongol took off, and then the Harley guy took off. So that's a sure way to get hurt. And so if you're not a club member, you don't belong to any of the clubs, don't get any of their stuff. If you got, if you go to Sturgis and you buy a t-shirt that says I support, I got a HA shirt someplace that I bought back in probably 25 years ago I bought. And I could wear that. I would have no problem wearing that. If you buy a club shirt like that they're selling to the public, you're pretty safe on wearing something like that. Now you always got to watch where you're at, because probably if you had an HA and you're in the Mongol territory or you're in the Banditos or whoever it is, you might get into some problems there. So you might, just word of advice. But don't represent yourself as being a club member, a 1%er, or any club. Don't wear something that's not your own. Just my tidbit tonight for those that want to stay out of trouble. Most clubs, they're not looking to give you a hard time. But if there's a lot of them together, you want to kind of get away from them. Big groups of them, they seem to get more aggravated with you. Prospects seem to cause a lot of problems. And so we've been doing this just like YouTube and stuff. There's a lot of guys out here that are filming stuff about 1%ers. They're talking about 1%ers. They are watching your channel, just like us. We have some HAs and some other clubs that actually, guys that are pretty high up in the company, or companies in the bike clubs, that actually watch our channel. So I don't worry about what I say. I don't really worry about what I film, but I do ask my permission. I actually talk to a lot of these presidents and stuff when we do get a chance to sit down and talk to them. I usually go out to dinner with them or lunch or whatever they want to do. And we have a little chat with them. And I ask for things about what can I do, what can't do. It's just like filming them. You can film them when they drive down the street, but you can't turn the camera around and get the backside of them. If you're walking down the sidewalk and they're walking towards you, if you had your camera on, you can keep it on. But you don't turn the camera around and get the back of them, because they're out in public, they're kind of fair game. So now that's different if you're in a bar or something like that and there's a bunch of them in there. Once again, you kind of stay away from that issue, just like we talked about before on, I don't know, I didn't ask that. We should ask him down there. And what club is dominant down there in Eureka Springs, just Arkansas area there. Usually they have a whole state that they run, Northern or whatever. I don't know who the clubs are down there. We'll have to find out. We'll let you know.
Well, XN Rider might know he's down that way, and so is
XN Biker. He's in Illinois.
I know, but I mean, he goes down there. Then you have to come, George. He said he wasn't sure if he was coming or not, but he said it's an easy ride for him because Harley Frank said it was 8 hours away. So
it's a lot of great things, and I'm pretty excited about it. And we've never been to Ocean City, and I'm kind of excited about going there just to say, I don't think we'll probably ever go back again, but you never know. Just like Laconia. We're not a big Laconia. Oh, look what I got from Laconia. I found one with all my stuff. Oh, I don't know where I'm going to put it yet.
Does that say the 100th or the 99th?
No. We got some of these. A couple of them we might give them away one of these days. the 99th.
We
Actually,
picked
from
up 100.
we got 100.
Yeah, we did. We
I don't
were
know where
somewhere in Sturgis and they had them laying there and they
I
were
don't
free
know
and you
where they're
grabbed them.
And so I have no idea. I actually got a shirt from Laconia too. And thanks to all of our special subscribers. And I want to thank the two that gave us the donation today. We have $200. We had two $100 donations.
Ryder X and Emory HVAC.
And given to help support our new lift that we're trying to raise money for. I don't know. I also want a storage trailer, but I don't have money for that either. So we still got to keep some money in the bank in case we got to buy bikes and stuff for our veterans thing before we get our C501.
5 hours. He says he might go. Early Frank.
Yeah. And, but I mean, it's going to be a really fun time. You know, Ocean City isn't probably going to have a whole lot of riding to do. But we've been told there it's kind of neat to see. Well, the concerts are pretty good, you know, for having Billy Idol and
Joan Jett.
That's going to be a great concert. That's one for sure we want to see. But we're hoping if we get a motorcycle, we can get in and out a lot easier. So we're hoping Harley's got something or somebody's got a stray bike laying around. Let us know.
Well, Adam's going to be at the, but he'll probably, if he wants to go, he'll.
Yeah. Well, then he likes to leave his bike run the whole time he's there.
I know.
So I don't know. But I mean,
Ryder X said he wanted to come out and show us a sunrise or sunset. I can't remember.
I don't know if we could talk Joey and let us borrow one of their bikes, but I don't know if that would happen or not.
I don't think so. I was thinking maybe, well, Shane was on. They got 4 or 5 bikes laying there.
He's still there.
I don't know if he's still on or not.
We called you today and you never
Oh.
called back. Oh, actually.
There's Jeff. Oops. Whoops. He's got super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super sticker.
And so we called you, Shane,
Supporters.
because we're looking for a place to do our live from.
It does. Every little bit helps.
And so we're looking to do a live, well, not a live, but I'm looking to do a meet and greet while we're there. And we're just trying to figure out a place to have one at. And so I didn't think Shane was actually going. I think your partner's going, which I don't know what that guy's name is. And we wanted his phone number.
Yeah.
So we can call
Frank.
him.
I don't know if it's Frank or not.
I don't know what, it's a young guy.
Oh, the younger guy. No, I don't
Yeah.
know his name.
I don't know. You don't think you've ever talked to him. And
See the guy that's always wears a bandana?
no, he had just a hat on. He's a skinnier guy,
Mm.
probably young 30s.
No.
Would be my guess. I have no idea. I don't know what his
I
name
may
is.
have a connection for Romo. Give me a call tomorrow afternoon.
And so we're just going to try to see what we can have. But I mean, if we can find something out. We haven't called any of the vendors to see if any of them would loan us a bike. But who knows? And it's not easy to ask somebody to borrow their bikes, I guess. But
Would you loan out your bike?
I don't know. Well, I don't have a second bike. But if I had a second bike, I would. I loaned your bike out.
To your brother-in-law?
Yeah. And Art rode it before. Art
Yeah,
rode one
yes.
of the bikes we had.
Yeah.
I think he rode the Fat Boy Low. So which we've loaned bikes out to people. When I have a second bike, but I mean, if I got a bike that I want to go riding on, I can't loan my bike out to somebody if
It's almost done. That's what he keeps saying, your garage.
how much farther we got to do?
We got to put the stuff up on the roof. You got to make it quit echoing in here.
It's a
You
lot
got to
better.
do the bathroom. You got to paint the walls. You got to finish putting up your rest of your posters. It's almost done.
It is. To me, the only real project that's left is the bathroom. So Emery, hint, hint, if he's still going to come out and help us put the air conditioner in the central unit, that is an updraft furnace, right? Not a vertical, it's horizontal. I got to make a platform for it. And I'm going to put it next to the sink. And then I got to know how big the hole to drill through the wall, because I think we're going to go ahead and put the drywall up before I run the lines through the wall.
I figured.
So we got to do that. And I got all the wiring ran for the water heater. I got that all ran. I've also got the wiring going for the bathroom. It's already over there. I just got to get the last boards up and then drywall it. Actually, the bathroom probably, once we get going on it, probably in a week, it'll be completely done.
And I'm going to texture the inside of that. It's not that big. Yes, I am. Rick's got some great news. His cancer is all gone. He's hoping to get his license, and he's going to go to Biketoberfest. And he says, hoping to see us there, but we won't be there. But if you go to the spring rally,
yes,
we will be there.
Yes.
So Rick, but it's very good news, and I'm very happy for you. Thank you.
Yes.
Good to hear. Yes. Right, Rick said he asked Mrs. It can be either. Yes, I'm coming out to install it. There you go.
there you go. Just got to know is when you want to come out.
Yep.
We got the whole month of October there.
If you come out when that poker run is, you can go on the poker run with us with the Pawn Stars.
Well, he's got to get a bike then.
You don't think you'll rent a bike?
I don't know.
You rented a bike when you came out here last time.
Yeah.
Ryder X lives in Maryland. I should have known where you live. I asked her if she would lend the bike to Bob and Tam. That didn't go over very well. I know. He said it was a hard no. Congratulations, Rick. Happy for you. Yep.
Wait till she asks me a favor in Sturgis next year.
Yes,
I have lots of connections.
Uh,
Probably I'm one of the people, out of all the people in the world to loan something to, I'm probably the best there is, because I'm one of these people that, let's say I scratch that bike really bad, we would go get a loan and buy you a new bike. I'm that kind of person.
Or have it repainted.
It would be whatever it takes because I'm that way. If I loan, I'm happy to loan most of my stuff to anybody, but I have a rule. It must come back in the same condition that you got it in. So if you wreck my truck, you scratch my truck, you got to paint the damn truck. That's the way it is, because that's what I would do. I would take care of it better than I would take care of my own stuff. And I'm very particular about everything that I own. I don't really have a scratch in my truck other than somebody that wrecked my truck. Wasn't even a week old.
It might have been 2 weeks.
It was a week. And I've never wrecked a bike. I haven't dropped my new bike since 2014. I've never dropped my bike. What? I never dropped it.
No, I didn't say you did.
And my other bike, I only got dropped because of Full Throttle, the old Full Throttle. People had us pull up, and I had the kickstand down still, and I thought it was still down because we only rolled up to the next park.
He said, okay, park there. And he's like, no, just why don't you move up here?
So I just thought the kickstand was still down. Yeah. I kind of just, I kept my feet down and kind of just pulled up one spot. And then when I went over, the kickstand flipped up and down, we fell. And the next time was probably before or after that, I don't know when. She was pulled up her bike and she started falling. I went to grab her bike and we both fell over. And so that's really the only 2 times I've ever really dropped my bikes. I don't even slide in rocks or nothing, or water. Mm-hmm. Very cautious rider. But
he said if you were in Pennsylvania, we could ride. Yeah. Dropped my scooter. Oops, it's no fun to drop it no matter what.
Yeah, she slid in rocks.
Yeah. He wasn't sure what day he was going to come. He was going to come Friday, I think, or was it Saturday? I don't know. Ryder X. Oh.
Well, I think he said he was going to come earlier now because he was going to come Friday. Now he's thinking he was going to come on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because to me, I want to be there Wednesday or Thursday. That's me, because by the time you get there.
Billy Idol Thursday?
Yeah. So by the time you get there, for me, Friday, it's just you're not gonna get much to do because it's not enough time. By the time you get off, you get out of the car, unload your bike.
You'll be there Thursday, leaving Sunday.
So that's what I would say. That's where we're gonna leave Sunday too. We'll leave really early. I talked to George. What do you think? We're thinking either leave by 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday to get back to the airport. Try to beat all the.
And our plane leaves at 2.
Well, I don't want to follow the traffic. They said TSA sent us a thing saying that Baltimore Washington Airport is one of the busiest for getting through TSA. So tell us if that's true. So we got to find out you can get an app for TSA now. We have to download that app.
Good idea, Rick. He said he'll be towing his bike to Daytona. 15 years ago, he drove to Daytona from Niagara Falls, but when he came back, Pennsylvania, Niagara was 35 degrees, so he trailers now.
Yes. And I know a lot of people that take their bikes. I think it was last year or the year before Daytona. People came from Ohio and they had to push their bikes out of the snow to get going. And that's great. But I mean, to me, it's however you get to a rally. If you're experienced enough to ride, there's some guy that's on our Sturgis page that keeps saying, oh, everybody should ride their bike. So then they get there, they don't want to ride anymore. And all they do is get drunk and stupid the rest of the time. Well, that's the only reason you're going to rally. Why don't you just stay home, ride around a whole bunch in your own area, and then go to a bar down the street and taxi home? You know, I don't know. I don't go to a rally. I've never gone to a rally just to drink. Now, there's people that do go to rallies to drink also, but they didn't. I don't know. I don't know. Is there anybody out here that's the only reason you go to a rally is to drink?
We had friends. Remember, they would ride their bikes out.
But that's different. That's not really going to a rally. Who are you talking about?
Carrie, I used to work
They
with.
still walked around and all that. They didn't go there. I don't think they drink, do they?
Yeah.
But I mean, they didn't. You're still going to do stuff.
Well, it was so bad that
That's Laughlin. You're
parked
only
his
3
bike
blocks.
and you wouldn't move it because you got a good parking spot. But in Laughlin, you can walk.
Yeah, because it's like a mile. You're at both ends of the strip is only a mile long. So unless you want to go on the ride. But I mean, typically that's what we like to do. We like to get some of our riding done. We should, hopefully our meetings on Monday and Tuesday will be earlier in the morning. By noon we'll be done so we can get out and we can do some riding on both those 2 days, get a lot of our riding done. And then maybe do one ride during the weekend if anybody's there who wants to go out on Friday or Saturday on Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue and do a ride. Ocean City, I'm not looking to do any real riding. I'm only looking to get a motorcycle to get to where we need to go. That's really all, to get mainly to the concert. Because Wednesday, when we get there on Wednesday, I'm hoping to go off to the stadium and get that knocked out right away. Go out there, film that, get that done, gone. And then we're only a few blocks away from the convention center.
We're not even a few blocks. We're right there.
37th Street, wherever 37th Street is, we're that right there. So we should be really close to get there. We will have a car because we got to get a car from the airport down to there and then back to the airport. And so we're not looking. We were planning on doing the public transportation, but we've been told by several people that the public transportation is slower than dirt. And probably because you can't drive any cars down there. So everybody that has a car is going to be on public transportation. So it's probably going to get really bad because there's probably a lot of people that are at this concert. I'd probably say 50 to 75% of the people at the concert are probably people that don't even own a motorcycle. So that's probably going to be the way it goes. And that's why it's going to get so crowded there.
Should have talked to Chase.
We still can call him. We're going to call him when we get there. I mean, he don't have a motorcycle, but
yeah, but I don't know.
See if he's got a.
Because we figure he don't have a motorcycle to get into the event, so maybe we can. He's got a special pass where we could get in. Maybe, I don't know. You could walk from the convention center to the boardwalk, but it's about 3 blocks, and it takes the tram to the concert venue.
But they're saying the tram is just impossible. They say it's 2 to 3 hours after it's over to get back. So I don't know. That's what we're hearing.
Emery says you're within spitting distance of the convention center. I told you we were right there.
I can't spit across the street, so we must be on the same side of the street that the convention center is on.
I think you walk out the door and it's right there.
So.
I don't drink anymore. I like to remember the fun I have now. You know?
And we're not big drinkers either. Sometimes we're more of I like the frozen drinks just because it's cold. I just have like a beer. I drink a beer when it's ice cold. We like cold beer. We drank a bunch of them when we were at Myrtle Beach. When we had Twin Peaks, they were really cold. We drank 3 or 4. That's probably the most we drank since we've been at a rally. And then in Panama City, they have a lot of the fruit drinks. I think we had 3 or 4. We usually split those when we do them. And so we're not big drinkers.
Like the rum. We're rum people. I don't like whiskey and I don't like anything.
We're not, if you don't drink beer all the time, you're not really a beer drinker if you don't drink all the time, because people don't ever remember that. The first time you ever drank a beer, it tastes like crap. And it's one of these things you got to learn to get accustomed to it. And then once you get accustomed to it, then they go down pretty smooth. But it's kind of crazy that beer is that nasty that the first time you drink it, it's like, oh, why would you drink this? Well, it's kind of like doing a shot too. You do a shot of some hard liquor, it's like, it burns all the way down. It's like, why did you do it? You know.
Rum. George says to do the stadium on the way to OC, you'll pass it on the way. It's 25 miles west of the OC. So we're going to pass it on the way. So is it, I guess that's their baseball stadium. Is that where the Baltimore Orioles play? Is that who's in Baltimore? Baltimore Orioles in Maryland? I guess that's who they are.
That's the American League team.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's the stadium. I don't know. Give us a thumbs up if you're on.
So what we did, if you just came on, we'll just do a real quick recap because we've got a bunch of other stuff we still want to talk about. So we actually had kind of tell you a little bit about what we're doing. We're actually in the shop now. The studio part is pretty much done, other than the doors. Do not buy
barn doors
unless, maybe a single one works a lot better. But I mean, we bought a dual one now, and they are cedar. And the first one, I thought, there was a gap this wide. The top of the doors together, the bottom of the door is about this wide. Now I went and got more doors. They're this wide.
We thought the doors forked.
Yeah, which it is, but they're pine. Man, you have to put them together. They're slats. You put them together, and it's actually worse now than it was. So now we actually talked to the Home Depot today, and they'll take them back. I bought them back in November last year. So they said, yep, wrap them up in tape and bring them on back. We'll put it back on your credit card. That works for me. So either we're going to put closet doors on it, slide back and forth, or I'm thinking about the accordion doors. Is that what they call those?
Yeah, I guess.
Bifold.
Yeah.
We're going to measure the opening after we get it out and go when we take these back tomorrow. We got to do all this tomorrow. We got a busy day tomorrow. Got to get that all done. Doors off, load it up in the 2 trucks, take it up there, drop it off, get credit for those two because I got the other doors I took off. They're in boxes. I got to put them back together tomorrow. Then we got to go home. We've got to clean up the other half of the garage so we can put the little red truck in the garage. I don't like to leave vehicles out when we're gone. Because here we got we got 12-foot sheets of drywall on the floor. We got about, I don't know, 10 pieces left that we either have to move them and her back's been killing her, so we're probably not going to move it. It'd be easier for us to clean the other half of the garage up. Got to put the wheelbarrow back in the shed and put the Christmas tree and all that crap we'll put in the back of the truck, and we'll be done. And move all the junk and then back the truck back in the garage like we used to do. Still can get 2 cars in the garage. I have 1 car in the garage now. Or Mustang.
Yeah.
We've seen a funny thing. If you want to see something, go back and watch. I don't know what day it was, about 2 or 3 days ago. If any of you watch Adam Amsoil, he's on his little trip. He met a YouTuber. He didn't realize who that YouTuber was. I don't know if he's seen him from being on our channel in Daytona. It's called Nomadic Fanatic. And he's probably been a full-time RVer for probably 12 years now, maybe even longer than that. And we used to follow him. We still watch him. But we caught up with him in Daytona. And he actually went down to, if you watch our channel, you already know. If you don't watch our channel, then you don't know. But we met him. He came down. He's got a Harley now. He's had a couple other bikes. Pretty good guy. Younger guy. He's younger than us. But Adam met him. And so he was on this. He's got his motor home. And he's got a couple cats. He's traveling down to California, and I don't know where he's going after that. But he stopped on the beach. I never seen one in all one piece. I always thought that was seaweed. Those things that stuck together.
Yeah,
that thing must have been some kind of animal or something at one time.
I don't know.
Well, it looked like a giant whip, and this thing was probably like 20 feet long. So he's picking it up and looking at it, and he cracks it, and he comes back and slaps him in the face. Funniest thing in the world. I don't know if you can find it or not. Nomadic Fanatic, probably 2 or 3 videos ago. It's when he's on the Oregon coast. And a lot of those places he stopped at is actually where we stopped when we came through Oregon too. But I didn't show you all those guys that stopped because I didn't think anybody was that much interested. We had the car. We weren't going on the bike. Yeah. And so now we're not going to do our ride the first week of October. 2 reasons. One, Harley never got back to us, which now they got back to us and said they were sorry. They wouldn't know if we still wanted to go, and we're not. Because hotels jumped. I think it's because it's Oktoberfest. There's Solvang. There's a couple other places up along the coast there. They must do a lot of Halloween stuff. Hotels jumped about $100 a night. So it's like, we ain't doing that. So what we're looking at now.
Then I think it's whale watching season. So along the coast, all of the motels jack it up because everybody wants to go see the whales.
So what we're thinking about doing is sometime in May, before Memorial Day, we are going to do a ride up the coast. So if you want to put down on your little calendar, Bob and Tam might do a ride in May. We will let you know as we get closer to that because we have to get back from Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is, when is it? March, April?
May.
Oh, it is in May.
I told you.
And so once we get home.
We're supposed to stop by and see our daughter on the way home.
Anyway. You can have time to do my ride. She can come out for the holiday.
She will be coming out for Christmas.
She'll do my rule. We go out there once, she's gonna come out here. And then
it'll be our turn to go out there.
I'll have to pick another time to go then.
It's until the 19th.
Days.
That's when it ends.
Then we're probably not gonna do a ride in May. Don't know. The other thing is to try to do a ride, maybe right after Sturgis. Because that wouldn't be too bad, maybe in August. You know, because we get the rides over 16th. We did maybe the last week of August. But then you're getting close to Labor Day. So I don't know. We have to figure this out. I don't know when we're going to do it.
Yes, double at wheel time.
But next year, 2025, we're not going to the West Coast, East Coast. We're not doing those. So we'll have other things to do. Hopefully my buddy Art, wherever you're at, will be retired by then.
March, we're on the East Coast. Unless you fly back. We got 6 weeks out there. We do nothing.
Yeah, but what are we going to do for a bike? But somebody's got to haul us there. How are we going to get from the airport to the place to pick the bike up?
Uber.
We're going to keep all of our equipment at and stuff, clothes and all that stuff. You're going to bring just enough for the ride and that's it? I don't know.
I'll see us this week. I better decide soon. Checking on the weather.
But that looks pretty good. For us, it looks like Wednesday. Wednesday, they're talking a little bit of rain, but they're talking Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is going to be like in the high 70s. Humidity's a little higher, so it's going to be a little muggy, but I mean, it's still going to be good, especially if you're riding a bike. That's going to be excellent weather. So we're bringing all of our gear just in case. our helmets, our rain gear, all of our stuff, just in case somewhere along the line we find a motorcycle. So we are going to bring all of our stuff just in case. We need it for Myrtle. We need it for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue anyway. We got a bike there the whole time. Dealer set us up. I didn't know this Rommel. Probably should have called them. But I mean, I don't know them.
Well, Ryder X says he might know somebody that knows somebody.
That knows somebody.
There's a huge storm potentially heading toward the OC. It's way out in the, if you look at the radar.
What did they say? It was going to hit up there. You looked at the timeline.
I did. It was still out in the middle of the.
By what day? You looked at it.
I
It tells
did.
you on there what days it's supposed to be estimated. Could be like the one in Florida where it's doing like 20 miles an hour. Take a month to get there.
Harley says, okay, Harley Frank, I'm going to hold on to you if he blows away. I'm still hanging in there. They're wanting to know about Sturgis, where you're going to stay.
How long have we been on?
An hour and 15 minutes.
So got a little bit more time. I got 83 people, which is pretty good. So this year we're actually going to be in 2 locations. So one, we're going to be set up at the Buffalo Chip 2, but we're not going to be there at night. So we'll be there for some filming and things like that. We'll know a little more as my buddy Mike, if he decides he wants to go and he's going to pay for an RV, we're going to give him a spot and the passes and all that to get in to cover all that stuff. So Tuesday, everything goes on sale at the Buffalo Chips. So just to let you know, we are not at the Buffalo Chips. We'll tell you that right now. We're not staying there. We'll be there, but not like we're going back to what we did before to show you all the great things that we do in Sturgis. Kind of like what we're going to do here in Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. Ocean City will be a little limited without having a motorcycle, but we're still going to show you, probably I'll just about show you everything that's going on because they're just, what's sad about Ocean City is there's not a whole lot of stuff going on. You know, they got the ride that goes down the boardwalk. I think there's a poker run, and that's it. Some concerts, some vendors, some bars to go to, a bunch of bars you can go hang out and pay to get into and all this kind of stuff. That's about it. It's more of a vendor location. Nothing, nobody's saying it's any great riding or anything down there that, most of the stuff when you're along the East Coast like that, there really isn't any great riding. You got to ride through like Myrtle Beach, you got to ride 3 hours out to get to anything.
To the mountains.
Yeah, and then 3 hours back. So you almost have to go out there the day ahead and stay all night and then come back.
To do barefoot tooth pass.
Yeah. So we're going to do that next year. Beartooth Pass. If anybody wants to get to Sturgis really, really early, we're going to go out to Beartooth Pass.
That's up in North Dakota. So
Yeah.
if we go to Delaware and North Dakota, then the only state we haven't been in is West Virginia. We have to go to Delaware while we're in OC.
You think, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So lots of excitement going on. Also, we want to talk about, because tomorrow is 9/11. So we all want to give a,
So I wore a
wear a patriotic shirt. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because where were you at when it happened? So where I was at is we owned a DJ company at that time. We did weddings and all kinds of stuff. Did a lot of things in my life. And so we had a storefront and all this. So we're traveling from, we used to live in a small town in Missouri called Marthasville. So I'm coming down, it's about 8 miles or something, wasn't it about 8 miles to get to the store? And so I'm coming down the road and I hear on the radio, it's actually MJ and BJ from Florida. They used to have a TV show.
Syndicated radio show.
And they used to play it up in St. Louis, and it was delayed. So he broke into it and said, "Man, I can't believe it. I'm watching TV and the tower got hit." And I'm like, "What is it?" They were known for doing practical jokes. They used to have a great one that was about a guy on. They said they were in an odd house on the highway, and they got locked in and can't get out. And they're calling a phone number that's on the odd house, trying to get somebody to come get them. And then they make it sound like the odd house rolls down the hill. And so they were very good at practical jokes. If anybody knows about the MJ radio show, I think they were in Tampa. And I think he still has it syndicated now. But it was a really great show, podcast, whatever he's doing. Really great show. So when he started talking about it, I'm like, is this another thing? And he's like, no, man, this is really happening. This is really happening. They're bombing and all this stuff's going on. And by the time, so I get to the store, we have a TV. So I turn the TV on because back then you didn't, Wi-Fi, all you had was dial up. And so I pull it up on the TV and they're showing all this. And I'm like, holy crap. So by the time I called her, our daughter had already called her.
I was at work and she was in college and she didn't have class that morning. And she says, Mom, she said, somebody just bombed the Twin Towers. And I said, what? And she's like, yeah, up in New York, that something happened and the Twin Towers is collapsing. And I said, no, you're crazy. And she's like, no, it really happened. And then everybody kind of started getting word of it and everything, because I guess we were in St. Louis then.
Yeah, you were in Deacon.
So it was only 2 hours difference, I guess, or 1 hour. We were in Central Time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just unreal. It's like, no, that's not happening. Did you want to feel old? Somebody said they were in 3rd grade. Somebody said they were in junior high. Our daughter was in college, so.
That tells you how old we are. And so, yes, so where were you at when it happened? We were just shocked. I left the TV on all day and watched all the stuff that's going on. To show you how bad it was in Missouri, we're in Washington, Missouri. That's where we own the business at. You can look it up today. Total Entertainment. It still shows up on Shooting Park Road. Was it 955 Shooting Park Road?
No, it was on Phoenix Center. Yes, that was way back.
So, yeah, so we actually had people, so that happened, this happens in September. So in January, we actually have a wedding. We do a big wedding show in town, and we book about, I don't know, 25, 50 jobs that day. We're the people you hire. And we had 18 employees and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a pretty big thing. And we had people actually cancel weddings because they thought the end of the world was coming. We had people like I say, we normally booked 25 to 50 jobs that day. And we get 50% up front. That's what gets me through January, February, till the wedding season starts in March. And then they pay the rest of the money the rest of the year. And we booked one wedding that day. And it was like, oh my gosh. And it was like, you wouldn't. And then when we ended up going out to California, and that's how she found her job in California. We actually had a trip to go out there. We almost canceled it. And then we went out there and people were saying how they were affected, from the being happening on the East Coast. But I'm just like, I don't know how many places were like that, and I can imagine in New York, it probably was crazy there. But to
only imagine.
Yeah, which is what people really need to think about that today and tomorrow and the rest of their life, that how America came together. And that's really what we should all be doing. We should all be taking care of each other. We should be, it's like some of these songs that they came out, what happens in a small town. And no matter what anybody says about that, that is true. We lived in small towns. And just like the town we've lived in Missouri, everybody knew everybody. The kids could ride bicycles miles away from the house. This is in the 80s. And you didn't have to worry about it because you knew that somebody else down the street, well, our town was such a, I don't know if you want to call it a redneck town or not, but if you were a hitchhiker and you're coming through town, cops pull you over. Where you going? Other end of town. I'm just coming through town. Hop in the car. We'll give you a free ride to the other end of town. Keep on trucking, buddy. And that's the way it was. And you didn't have to worry about anything because they were always observant. Somebody plowed into her, and I got a phone call from one of the firemen because they knew who we were. And said, hey, your wife just was in a bad accident. We're taking her to the hospital. I think she's all right. So don't panic. And, and she went to go get us lunch and never came back. And
eventually, but
but you got taken care of in a small town. People you didn't have to worry about well, it's kind of like Sturgis. When we first heard about, this is in 2020. Before we got there in 2020, there was all this stuff about Black Lives Matter and Antifa and all this stuff. So we knew we were already starting to make our connections with the city. And so she's talking to somebody on the phone. And what did the girl tell you?
She said, honey, don't worry about it, because if you ain't packing, the girl sitting next to you will be.
And that's what you knew. You didn't, people did what they needed to do to take care of their town. And I could give you all kinds of stories about North Dakota and South Dakota, some of the things that happened during that time, how the local people came out and said, we're here to back up the police department. I actually tell you a story about a biker club, a 1% club that up in North Dakota, I can't remember the town, it was Fargo, that Antifa was sending buses there. So the sheriff in town calls the state police and says, we need backup. We need to call the National Guard out here. Nobody. They said, we don't have anybody. We're shorthanded. We can't call them out. The governor's got to call them out. They're not going to do it. They end up calling the local MC club. And they're like, sure, we'll take care of this. So what they did is the buses rolled in. All the guys are standing out there sitting on the side of the road on their bikes. And as they start pulling up, they knew where they were going. They told them where they could protest at. And half the motorcycle club pulled in front. And the other half followed them behind. And when they pulled up to the mall or whatever, I think it was a mall, they all got out and same thing. They all just kind of stood there. And there's pictures of some of the protesters talking to them and stuff. And they're, they weren't there to bash their heads together or nothing, but if you're going to start something in this town, we're going to take care of you. And the local police were there, the few patrolmen that they had in that town. And at the end of the rally, when they got done with their little rally and all the protesting, they got back on the buses. And same thing, the little motorcycle club, big motorcycle club, actually followed them all the way to the edge of town. See ya, don't come back. And that's the way it was. There was no trouble, there was no rioting, there was no broken windows, nobody got shot.
But the scary thing was, Jason said that they was working in Milwaukee and all the planes looked like a beehive because they were all being rerouted to Chicago. It was a couple days afterwards when they canceled all the planes and there was not a plane in the sky. That was kind of
That's how we got our
too.
cheap tickets too, because it was like nobody wanted to fly. Well, we flew round trip from St. Louis to California for $100 each, $99 round trip. Because it was like people were like, I'm not flying, they're gonna bomb planes.
Never flying.
Well, the odds of that's not gonna happen, the odds is you get a better chance of breaking your neck in your bathtub than you're gonna worry about a hijacked plane. So, but nowadays people, we all do this. If you're in the airport, you're looking around. If you're not, you're stupid. You'd be looking around, people that get on the plane. I see pilots a lot will still do that. They'll come out before everybody loads and they take a quick little, they look like they're talking to the stewardesses or the people that are putting you on the plane. But you watch them. They are profiling you. They're looking through to who they think might be a crazy. And so they're prepared. And most of these planes now do have marshals on them and they all have guns and things like that. But it's the same thing. If I would be the same way as those guys that were on that plane that brought it down.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah. I would charge. If you're going to die, I'm going out with a fight and whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do. And I think more people are like that. But it's just like, we've had some different groups of people that we've flown over the years after that. And I'd watch them. And if two of them are sitting together, I'm not so bad. But if I look through and they're scattered throughout the plane, then I'm like, okay, we really need to pay attention to this whole flight. You look around and figure out what you're going to do if something comes down, what am I going to use for protection or to stop this person? And everybody should do that because we all should be taking care of ourselves. We all should be Americans. We should be proud of the country. And
I think it was a wake-up call. God was sending a wake-up call. We didn't listen. It's been 22 years, 2001. So,
and it is. And could it happen again? Yes. And things are bad here in America. They're bad around the world. But I mean, we're at our lowest defenses that we could ever be in now, and things which we all should be thinking. That's what she always says. When now they're talking about mask again, and it's like, screw this, dude. We didn't believe in the mask the first time, and this time I'm not wearing a mask. So if you tell me I can't go in your business because of that, then I'm not going. And that's the way it's going to be. We survived this. We might have had the virus. We never got tested. We survived. We're okay with that. It's no different than the flu. Actually, the flu I've had has been a whole lot worse than the 2 times that we think we might have had COVID. I would have took that way over taking the flu that we've had. We've had some nasty flu over the years. And she had a bad time eating at White Castle one time. And that was way worse than what the COVID was.
Ryder X says there's a memorial at the Pentagon that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Police escorted motorcycle rides tomorrow for a candlelight vigil.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
I would love to be there for that. But I mean, I'm not a big New Yorker person. I don't care for that big a crowd.
That was in Washington, D.C.
And so it would be I would really like to be there for something like that. I think that would be really American. You don't see a lot of this anymore. And we need to change that in our country. Our firemen and our policemen and our service
Support
people.
them.
And because America was the biggest and the best. And I don't know if we can say that anymore today from what's going on in America now. Heck, they just said already this year we've had over 7 million illegals. Or was that just last week? 7 million came across the border. It's insane. And I'm okay. Just like Art, my buddy Art. He's an American, but his mom wasn't. She came from Mexico. She became a citizen. And he hates illegals because he knows how hard it was for his mom to become a citizen. And he is Mexican. His last name's Garcia. You can't get any more Mexican than Garcia. And unless you're Julio. But yeah. So yes, that's my little spiel on 9/11, and we should all think about that tomorrow.
Thank you for everybody that helped in that area, and our hearts go out to all those families that lost anybody during that.
And there's still people, a lot of the workers are still having all that
PTSD.
And a lot of things like that afterwards. A lot of them are getting cancer and stuff. And, there was, I don't know if Biden stopped a lot of that. I know they were, when Trump was in office, they were trying to get some money to, because all these people, if you've served in this country, or you fought a war, or you were in something like this, a fireman or a policeman that was in this kind of stuff, we should be paying for them for the rest of their lives. We should take care of any medical that they have 100% paid, because they did what they did for us.
So they camp on your lawn. That's right. Bring back the morals in 2024. Yeah, that would be.
That's one of the reasons I love doing motorcycle rallies, because when you go to rallies, most people are, it's like you're in America. The people will help each other. If you see a bike on the side of the road, you'll see people pull over. Hey, you guys, are you all right? You need any help? You need this or that? You see that. Nowadays, you don't see that. Like us, we had the flat tire on the trailer, and not a soul stopped. A lot of them flew past me, almost blew me off the road.
I mean, I was like,
I'm on the driver's side,
trying
changing
to
the
get people
tire.
to switch lanes, and it's like I'm like almost standing in the street, like get over.
And it wouldn't matter if you somebody said you put triangles out or flares, still wouldn't make any difference. But actually, I used to work for this gas company, SoCal Gas, and they warned us about putting cones out, because what happens with stupid morons that don't know how to drive, they swerve into the cones.
What's going on there?
More utility workers get hit because they have their cones out. The reason they made us put our cones out, because they wanted us to do what we call the circle of safety around your truck, to make sure there's nothing around there. Actually, they found some kids playing underneath a big semi one time that they would have ran over if they wouldn't have done it. So you never know what's underneath your truck.
All right, it's been an hour and a half. You gonna tell them about Sturgis?
We're still doing our dedication. I should have my flag up.
I was thinking that.
I got a flag on that. Nope, it's on this side because it's backwards.
Yeah.
There's a flag here. So we do have a flag up. We don't have a flag for the shop yet. We looked at a couple of times the other day, but they wanted too darn much for them, and they probably would have reflected light anyway, because I tried to take a picture of it, and it still gave me a reflection.
Oh, did it? Well, there was one that looked really cool, but it was sitting in the window, and it was kind of transparent. You could see through it. And he's like, that'd be really cool. And then once he picked it up and got it away from the window, it didn't look like that.
Yeah, because it made it look like it was 3D. It kind of had, the light was coming through the back of it, and it was lighting up the white part of the white stripe. So I was like, man, this is super cool. And oh crap, it was the light. We don't have a window in here. There's no windows in our building. No. So do we sound better today than we did on the video that we just did? Is the echo better? We don't have our mics on because we had to put earbuds in, and only got 4 holes. You got 4 holes. You can only get 3 of them full. It's hard to shove that second one in that tight hole. It was too tight on that side. Saying like it is.
I stepped in my truck last week. A biker was on the highway with the shoulder. Yep, I know. And a lot of people do that. They stop
and check and see if you need help, because you don't realize how many times you stop, your phone don't work. But me and Aaron, we almost ran out of gas out there by the Badlands. Freaking phones, we had no signal. So stuff happens.
I went to Sturgis this year. He was amazing. How friendly everyone welcomed me, and everyone was. Yep.
Sturgis is totally different than Daytona. It is like night and day when it comes to people that you're going to meet. Because it is. We notice that. Because a lot of times we just walk up to people and sit at the table and say, hey, we got a YouTube channel and talk to you. No, you really don't. No. Whatever, dude. Get that camera out of my face. We've never had that in Sturgis. You walk up to people and say, hey, can I talk to you? Yeah, sure. You want to ask me? One time we were in trouble was out at Topless Tuesday, and it was a guy, after I filmed him, he's like, oh, crap. I'm not supposed to be here. I called in sick. And we had another guy one time that was with his girlfriend, and his wife's at home. So he said, don't take that. Don't tell me. I'll try to remember. Yeah, luckily in both those cases, I did remember, and I took them both off. But I always tell people, dude, the chances of seeing you on a video from somebody he works with is probably pretty slim. Because there's a million, just like here this year, there's a million YouTube videos coming out on Sturgis. And
Big Ben from Florida.
So
Casey's signing out.
So how many people are thinking about going to Sturgis in 2024? It's going to be the 84th rally. We're probably going to do for sure the 84th and the 85th. I do not know if we'll do anything after that or not. Kind of depends on our channel, depends on what's going on, depends if I might just say, dude, the 85th was so big, that's all I need I'm done. So I don't know. I don't know what our future brings.
Right, as I am.
And so here's what it is. This year.
He tells us that every year.
What?
That he's going to go.
He better go this year. I'm going to send bad juju to him if he doesn't go.
There's none. You can always find me.
And so here's what's going to go on this year. So in 2024, we are moving out of the buffalo chip. And the reason we're moving out of the buffalo chip was a couple of reasons. Part of it's the rain, and they had nothing to do. It wasn't as muddy there as a lot of people said. There was some muddy areas where we were at weren't too bad. We managed to get in and out. We could have got the motorcycles out without no trouble. We ended up just driving the truck a couple days during that rain because we did some Walmart runs and went in town and went and had a couple places to eat, a little different than on the motorcycle. So, but what ended up happening was the buffalo chip promised us the world, and Rod wanted to promise us the world. His staff just could not deliver to us. And I spent a lot of time there, spent a lot of effort. We even rented cameras I brought in. I spent a lot of money on cameras. I had it shipped in. I also bought banners. We spent hundreds of dollars on banners, and I should have let him get them myself, and then somebody ripped one of them down, and two of them they wouldn't even let us put up because we wanted them around we were doing live. We had trouble doing our lives. It took 3 days to get into there to start doing our live. We didn't get the girls that we were promised. So we decided we want to go back to what we did before. We want to go back to just have a good time there. We want to be able to go out and film all the stuff that we always film, talk to everybody, go all the stuff, be downtown when they have their grand opening, have the Jets flyer. We've never seen that, and do some of the stuff with the city that we haven't done these last 2 years. So we're going to go back to what we did back in 2020, which is we're going to show you all the great places to go, places to do. We're going to arrive at least by the 23rd of June. We're saying June, not July, June. Good chances we're probably going to be there 2 weeks before that. Because if we get there, we can do all the rides, and then we can leave our camper there, and we can go. We won't have to worry. From the 23rd, we could go and do those 2 or 3 days, and we can leave the camper there. Campground, we can't really leave it there for 2 or 3 days. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Because the place where we're staying at now is going to be a lot better. So a lot of you already kind of figured it out. So where we're going to be staying at is Kathmandu. So we're doing Kathmandu again. They are getting a brand new owner. The original owner, Mike, that's been there for the last, I don't know, probably 10 years. He said he was only going to be there 5 years, but he's been there 10 years. This will be our 5th time that we've stayed at Kathmandu with the 3rd owner. And the guy that's coming in now is going to spend a bunch of money fixing the place up. Not saying there was really nothing really wrong with it to start with, but I kind of complained a little bit about the roads. He said, I'm going to fix them. I'm going to do whatever it takes to fix the roads and make them look good. He's going to start opening the campground on May and be all the way open till September. He's going to be open the whole time. He actually has a house on the other side of town, or actually across the highway there. He's got a big giant log cabin up there. That's his house. Second house. His main house is over in Sioux Falls. I think he says he owns either a livestock auction or a livestock place. I don't know which it is. I don't remember. And so I met the new guy. He's really nice. I don't remember what his name was. And so Mike's still going to be there. So what we have is only 10 spots guaranteed to our people. Now, they do have cabins and they do have 10 spots. 10 spots you don't have to worry about. But we have 10 spots that are going to be really close to where we're at. Nice thing about Kathmandu is they give us a lot of extra stuff. They'll let us we did our meet and greet there 2 years ago. Any kind of events that we want to have inside there, they're all on board. They get us all the banners that we need. Mike's a great guy, and he bends over backwards for us. He really helps us out, and he's like, when we got there this year to get a banner from him, he was like, you're throwing me under the bus again, and now you're coming back here to get a free banner. I said, well, we don't know where we're going to go. He says, what do you want? I said, well, we need this, and we need 10 spots. Or I first said 5. And so after I talked to her, I said, we were thinking, because half the people that came this year, 10, only 4 or 5 said they're probably going to come back for next year.
Some people only come every other year.
Yeah. So a lot of them want to come back on the 85th. So we thought, because it is, once you go, if you want to go the 85th, you really want to go the 84th, because that way you get locked into where you're at. The odds are we're probably going to be in the 85th. We'll probably be at Kathmandu again, just because once you get locked into a place, you're going to get those same spots back again. We may even get a few more if it all works out right. I think some of the people that already said they wanted to go, we gave out the phone number today to Kathmandu. And you can look up Kathmandu on the internet and just call their number. If you have any trouble, you'll definitely, when you call, you say, I want to be with Bob and Tam.
He said if he doesn't answer, leave a message and he will call you back. And he's real good about calling you back.
Yes. And if anybody has any trouble, let me know. But there's only 10 spots. So they're going to go really quick. We've already called about 5 or 6 people that act like they're really interested in going. But like I said, they got cabins. We also are going to call Jack's Trailers on Monday, tomorrow, and find out. I'm pretty sure you can rent a trailer and they'll put it anywhere you want.
For sure.
So we're going to check into that. And we're going to check into something else, but I'm not going to offer that yet until I talk to them about it. And because there could be another option we could do, could save you money. And so we'll see how that goes. But we're going to talk to them. I figure a trailer is probably going to run you about $2,000, and that's probably what kind of the same price that the Buffalo Chip car, and then plus the campground there. I don't remember what his last rates were. I don't remember. But he's got a very reasonable rate. They've got some of the cleanest bathrooms. What the new guy is going to do is still going to be a quiet campground. By 11 o'clock, he's going to shut everything down. But what he's thinking about doing is having some local bands come in during the late afternoon, early evening, and play. And I said, you know, don't get these bands and we can't freaking talk. Because what they have there is they have this big tin building. And then on the outside, if you watch our videos 2 years ago, we had our meet and greet outside because it was hot that day. You want to be, as I said, you want to be able to, where people can still sit around and talk. You don't want to go to these, some of these concerts you go to, they're so freaking loud. What was that one at the Buffalo Chip? That headbanging one was before Def Leppard. Don't remember?
I can't think of it right off. I'll tell you here in a minute. Pop Evil.
Yeah, they were so freaking loud. We're way back behind the VIP lounge up there, sitting behind the back road, right in front of Mexi Philly and Maria's Bandanas. And you couldn't talk to the person next to you. You could yell in their ear, but you could not talk to them. It was that freaking loud. I couldn't even believe what the people down front, their brains had to be rattling. Well, so that's why I said, you want something to where, and I said, you got to stop that because that's, you know, at 11 o'clock, because people are known. What?
He said REO. I said REO wasn't that loud.
No, 6 wasn't loud either. Even Def Leppard wasn't that bad.
Not as bad as not that Pop Evil.
Yeah, that was just awful. And if you want to be down there moshing in the pit, then go for it. But I mean, you definitely, those people down front lost at least 20% of their hearing as they get older. So that's where we're going to be at Kathmandu. He set it up. I don't know how long he'll hold those spots. We originally said November 1st, and he said that was fine. So we're hoping, but I mean, 10 spots ain't going to last very long. Now, these are electric and water spots is all they have left. Electric and water. They have dump stations there. They do have a truck that comes in and pumps you out if you want. If you bring a Blue Boy, if you know what that is, you can bring it over there and dump. Or the shower house. Shower house is really great. They have doors on them. So when you go in the shower room, you close the door, and then you've got an area to sit. You change your clothes. They can all dry. They got hooks. Then you got a shower curtain you open up and get inside the shower. And they're pretty good sized showers. They do have some co-ed showers on. They have the men and the women's, and then they have co-ed. They have about 3 or 4 washers and dryers on the property there. They have a food truck. He's going to have a different. He's got a new guy that he wants to bring in that's going to have different food. So that's going to be kind of neat. But he's a guy that's got money. So he's going to spend some money to fix it up. Actually, we told him to contact us anytime we want. We've been camping our whole life. And she's been camping since she was 16. So I've been camping since I was 4. So we know a lot about campgrounds and rallies and all that kind of stuff. And said we'd be more than happy to help you out all we can. So, because it's a great camp. I love Kathmandu. A couple people, what's nice about Kathmandu is it's farther away from the road. I think it's different because like over at Kickstands, I didn't realize it till a couple people told me this year, that if you're down there in that valley, which is the boondocking area, dry camping, they said the traffic is just awful here in those cars. Well, we're at, I guess it's because we're even with the road, where it's not that loud. You really got to listen, even with the air off, you got to listen to hear the cars go by.
There's trains.
So I'm thinking because of the valley goes down there where they're at, the sound must be traveling across that valley, I guess. I don't know. But Kathmandu, the traffic noise really isn't that bad. Now you do hear the train, but I mean the train I think once or twice a day. I think you have one during the day and one at night comes by. But I mean they don't blow the whistle or nothing. I don't think. I think you just heard the train go by. But it's a really great place. They got a bus. That's kind of the great thing about it. Is we'll do a couple of nights that we'll go downtown and we'll all ride the bus. They have a big dual bus like those big giant ones like they have over in Europe. It's got the little thing accordion in the middle. And they'll be pulling that bus out and from sometime in the afternoon to like 2 or 3 in the morning, I guess 2 o'clock.
It starts at 5. It goes 5 to 2.
And so they'll haul you down there and they only go there and back. So that way you don't have to.
Kathmandu has their own bus.
Yes, it's a big bus. It's not a little Twinkie bus or the special ed kid bus. It's a regular bus. And we won't look like the handicap getting off the bus. We look like regular drunk people getting off the bus. So that'd be a couple nights. We'll probably go down there and just have some havoc downtown, have some fun, drink a little bit, and you won't have to worry about dropping your bike or getting a DUI or anything like that. So that's really neat. And that's all free. Showers are great there. We don't know who the food truck's going to be yet, but he says he's going to get a really good food truck. Over the years,
we had before wasn't bad.
He's had a couple different ones since, because before it used to be, I think he hired somebody, and then while there, I think it was somebody he knew, a relative or something, was doing it this last time. But we didn't eat
went
there.
2 years ago, if that was fine, we ate there a night or two. I think they had mac and cheese, pulled pork and mac.
And they got a little bar there. It's got a handful of beer, and I don't think any mixed drinks or not. They might.
Yeah, they have those frozen ones. Me and June got one. Remember?
I guess.
That's good.
And so it'll be a really great time. And if you want to get there, the earlier the better. Like this year, people complained about the rain. If you were there the week before, it was hotter than heck. It was in the high 90s, no rain, dry as could be. They were talking about fire hazards. And so all the way up until pre-rally started that Friday, we didn't have a drop of rain. And then it rained that whole freaking weekend and dropped to whatever it was, 2 or 3 inches of rain.
And then we didn't use the air. We used the air conditioner during the day, but at night we turned it off.
Yeah.
So we didn't even use it at night.
So this was the coldest rally and the wettest rally that they've had
in a while.
Yes. And I think it goes way back. I don't think, like I said, we've seen both now. We've been, 2 years ago, it was the hottest. It was 105 pretty much every freaking day of the rally. And then this year we had the most rain in the cooler temperatures. But if you hung around till, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday,
Good night, Glenn.
the end of the rally, it was ideal riding. It was like high 70s, low 80s. It was the best riding you could have done if you stayed around. So sometimes you got to gamble and take maybe a few extra days to get there and back. I always recommend people, this is my recommendation, come a few days before the rally starts, Wednesday or Thursday before the rally, and then leave on Wednesday or Thursday of the rally week. The end of the week isn't much going on. You want to be there for the first weekend. That's always going to be your best concerts, your best stuff going on. Everything's going to be going on that first Saturday and Sunday. Buffalo Chip kind of blew it this year. They didn't really do so well on Saturday as they normally do. But it is what it is. Maybe the band they had, I think they thought that Cole was going to be a lot better than they thought he was. And
Cole Wetzel?
Yeah, I don't think he ended up being what he thought he was going to be.
Well, and that Whiskey Myers too was supposed to be a good
country band, and it wasn't country. So I don't know. But that's where we're staying at. So if you're interested in Kathmandu, give them a call tomorrow, and don't call now, it's too late.
Yeah, tell them you want to stay in Bob and Tam's section. Make sure they know that. And the sooner the better.
And they're very nice. Mike's a really nice guy. He'll be real friendly with you. He won't, sometimes we've had some complaints about the Buffalo Chip that some of the staff there has been, actually somebody that runs the reservations, has snapped at a few of our people. Not real happy with that. And that's a whole nother story. We won't get into that on here. Tell you why she's there. But we see that too. Some days she's really nice to us. Next time she bites her head off. So it is what it is.
Depends on what kind of mood.
Yeah.
So is it a huge campground? It's a decent size. Probably, I don't know, 400 or 500 maybe.
I'd say 300 to 400 spots. We'll have to ask him. It's pretty good size. It runs, if you drive down, if you pull out of Sturgis and you're going to Rapid City, the very first exit there is the cemetery. Okay, the Veteran Cemetery. You all know where that's at. If you don't, you're in trouble. You're not paying attention very well. You'll see a couple little campgrounds down there. You'll look to your right, and you're going to see a big giant water tank there, blue and white. It says Kathmandu. All that property there. I don't know how many acres it is. It's the biggest campground on that side of the highway. And I don't think anything's bigger than that. It doesn't have a lot of trees, so it's not a tree place. If you're looking for shade, they do have some spots that if you get there early with a tent, there's some spots that have, what do you call that? Like a gazebo, patio cover, carport, whatever you want to call it, where you got an area that you got some protection. And there's a handful of those throughout there, but I don't know if you reserve those or if it's just first come, first serve. We're not 10 people, so I don't know. There is some dry camping out there too. They got a big giant field that they let people dry camp in. Some motorhomes and some buses and stuff were out there a couple of years when we were there. So they got a big field out there. It's just pretty nice. Like I say, we've been there this will be our 5th time since we've been doing Sturgis that we've stayed there. We have stayed no place. Buffalo Chip we've done twice. And that's it. Everybody else has just been once.
Where we stayed at the Buffalo Chip, we were on Deep Lake, but that's not like a lake, like you couldn't get in it. And it also has Bikini Beach, which is a little pond. But other than that, I don't think even Chris's campground, that didn't have a lake out there, did it?
She got swimming pools. Chris's campground's got 2 pools.
I know, but she's asking about a lake.
No.
Any campgrounds with a lake?
I don't think so.
Is that your phone or my phone?
I think it was mine. I don't think there's any campgrounds that have a lake on them. Not that I know of. And there could be some out ways, but I mean, all the
I
campgrounds
don't
we've
know,
gone
even
through.
Rapid City.
No, there's no water over there. They got that lake down, that little river,
Yeah.
that little creek, and that little pond down there, but there's
That's in
nothing
that
around
park.
that.
That's a city park.
Yeah,
It's
but if
not-
there was a river that goes through there. But I mean, even in Spearfish, there's a river that goes through, there's that little, I guess we
Well,
call it a
Buffalo.
creek that runs through there, but that doesn't go through any of the campgrounds. So yeah, I would think maybe the Buffalo Chip might be the only person that's got water on their property.
So it beats one of those.
Right.
He says he needs to go, but with his wife, but it has to be a quiet place after midnight with shade.
You got an RV or you got a
By
tent?
place.
We have the air conditioners on the trailer now. We have dual air at 105 degrees. We were there at 105 degrees and our trailer stayed plenty cool and Charlie had no problem cooling down in there.
Yeah.
He didn't, sometimes he'd get outside and go, I'm not going out there. It's too hot. And so, yeah, we had no trouble with the air conditioner. There is a few trees there. They're small trees if you can get in those spots, but I don't know where they're at. But I mean, when we look at it with an RV, doesn't matter.
Sturgis house isn't next to kickstands. Sturgis house is downtown
Sturgis house is
On
across
Lizette.
from the Iron Horse.
and Broken Spoke.
Yeah.
And kickstands is right on the 90.
Yeah, it's actually the exit 37 where they had all the construction at. Kickstands is almost across the street from Kathmandu,
Pretty
across
much.
the highway. Very
Corner,
close. Yep.
Kitty corner.
Yep.
There is no price for cabins, Kathmandu.
I don't have any prices on nothing.
No, you'd have to call tomorrow and ask.
Yeah. So they do have cabins. We stayed there the very
Yeah.
first time.
That's the first place we stayed in a
And
cabin.
what we liked about Kathmandu cabins were, one, they came with an air conditioner, they had a refrigerator, they had a coffee maker, and a microwave. Wasn't no
And a
extra
table
charge.
and 2 chairs.
Yes. And we had a bed with a mattress on it. And what we had was a bunk bed. We had a big giant one that either was full size or queen size bed. And then it had a little twin on top. Well, that's where we put all our suitcases at, up on top of the twin bed. And that we kept it off the floor. And it never did rain or nothing in there. It had a little porch on it. You had a couple little chairs to sit out front. They had a little Johnny on the spot right down at the end of the place where sometimes we'd use that at night if you had to take a leak real quick. Shower wasn't too, they got cabins all around their campground. They have one big giant bathroom that has probably, geez, I don't know, probably showers. They probably got, I don't know, 20, 50 showers. I don't know. It was shit. We got a crap load.
I'd say 20.
Because the toilets, they're all in their own little doors too. They're men's and women's. The toilets don't matter. Sit down toilets. And you go in there and there's probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 of them along the outside there.
And they have some Johnny on the spots.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of Johnny on the spots. And they're all clean.
And think about that.
What?
That Sylvan Lake that's out there off Needles Highway.
I don't think there's a campground out there.
Well, that's what he said. He doesn't know if there's camping, but.
That's
there's
actually
like-
out by Custer's is at Sylvan Lake.
Yeah, but it's off right off Needles Highway.
Yeah, but I don't think
Right
it's
before
by any campground.
you get- I don't know, they might
I'm just
have
saying, I
some.
don't think there is. We've been to most of the campgrounds. There could be some, but see, most of the stuff, a lot of the campgrounds, like you get into Black Hills, are up in the hills, so there's no lake going to be around.
We're out there.
And,
all over.
but I don't know, not saying there's not, but I don't know anybody else that has water on their property, like in a pond or a lake. I don't know any. If you do, let me know. We'll call and find out. But all the campgrounds around Sturgis, nobody has it. Now, Glencoe has a creek running through it. They got sued for millions of dollars a few crazy 20 years ago for damming it up and making a swimming hole out of it. And I don't know if they even allow anybody to get in the creek anymore. I imagine they probably do. That's off to the far side of it. Now, I don't know if it's dry all the time, but they got trouble because that's the natural creek that runs through there with a spring. And there's a whole bunch of people downstream that watered their cows with that. And they got a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Plus, the owner had to go out and pick trash up for a while for so many months out in Sturgis area. So they won't be damming that up anymore. So they do have water running through their property. You might be across the street as Lampshire. They could have a creek running through their property too. But that's a creek. It's not a lake. I don't think you could swim in it. You probably could go in and might get waist. No, I don't think you can get waist deep. You'll probably get ankle deep, maybe knee deep in certain areas, but no deeper than that. But it's a cold Creek. And we also found out about the buffalo chip, which they didn't want to talk about it, but I'm like, well, I don't know why you wouldn't say this. The pond that they have that they swim in, they drain that every year. They drain it, they clean it all out. It's spotless when they get done. They fill it all up with water before the rally starts. They put chemicals in it like a swimming pool.
So it's pretty clean.
And so when they said, oh, we don't want to talk about that, I'm like, why would you not want to say that? Because that's one of the things people say, oh, the water gets dirty. Even any swimming pool. You know, if you're over there at Pappy Hoyle's, probably by the end of that rally, I don't care if they're putting chemicals in it or not, it's going to get kind of nasty towards the end. Because you get that many people going in there, there's probably people taking a leak in there, all kinds of crazy stuff going on inside there, and the chemicals just can't keep up with all that. I don't know if we're still live.
I think so.
We were plugged in. My thing's still charging. It kind of blinked.
No.
No, it's full charge.
All right.
I thought my camera was going dead there for a minute. So any questions about Kathmandu?
No, I said she meant the bar that just got sold. So that was the
Knuckle. Yeah, the Knuckle Saloon got sold. We did talk to the guy, but just through Messenger. I think he thought, because we have a 605 number, I think he thought we were going to come to the bar and interview him. He is tied in with SBB, Suck Bang Blow, down in Myrtle Beach. They're co-owners. So originally he just said he was a friend, but on the interview he had with the TV, which is on our Facebook page, our Sturgis page, you can go there and see the interview that he had. It's a radio interview, so you can't see him talk. And so they have some plans that they want to do. Most of the stuff is going to stay exactly the same. They're going to update some stuff. They're going to put some new stuff on the menu, stuff like that. So they're not drastically going to tear the building down and put something new up there. The Sturgis Brewery did not get sold. We talked to the owner there, which used to be the same owner, Brian, that owned co-owner. Him and his brother owned the Knuckle. I think Brian only owns the bar. I mean, the brewery company. So he's still keeping the brewery. Actually, was just down the road from us here. He was selling some of his beer to some of the bars down in Cave Creek. So we talked to him the other day on the phone and said, nope, I didn't sell my place. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can. So that's a really cool place. Is the Sturgis Brewery. If you've never been there, we didn't get to spend much time there this year, but next year we will be there. Sturgis Brewery House is a pretty cool place.
It is. Oh, you should see the tables. It's a nice place.
Yes. If you've never been there, we'll talk about it when we get there. But got a lot of great stuff going on. Coming up this weekend, we're leaving on Tuesday to Vegas. Be there all day. I gotta go over to the Harley dealer. We want to get a rug for here. I want to get some other stuff. I want to talk to him because he's one of the guys that said he'd work with us on a bike for our veterans. So I want to talk to him and see if we can get something going with him. So by the time we get back in a couple weeks, maybe he'll have something for us. I'd rather start close because right now I don't have a trailer to haul bikes around on. I want to get a flatbed, but I don't have money for a flatbed either. We don't have money for a lift yet for the shop, so I can't spend too much. I actually got a little extra money in the bank this year, or this month, since we didn't go nowhere this week. We've been kind of staying around the shop.
Yep. So they said Hidden Valley Campground has a creek but no swimming, and then he said he was just corrected. They also have a pond that you can swim in.
Where at?
Hidden Valley.
But also like Fish and Fry, they got the little creek that goes through there that you can go fishing and stuff in. So there is definitely creeks, but I don't know. I don't know where that campground's at. I've heard of that before, but I don't know where that's at.
Shade Valley, Hidden Valley.
Hidden Valley, I don't know. Let me Google it. You talk to people, entertain them.
Well, I need to.
Gotta go to the bathroom. Bathroom's on. Got the lights on out there.
I saw that.
I took the flood so you wouldn't die. What's the place called again?
Hidden Valley.
Hidden Valley Campground near Sturgis.
Let's lift first. Well, he could probably do it without a lift, I would think. We've got a motorcycle jack. I mean, I don't know if that would work. I don't know. It depends on what I guess he has to do to the bike.
The idea is to get it up off the ground so I don't have to. I do have a creek going through there.
They said you could swim in it.
I don't know. I'm still looking. They're not showing anything on their website.
Nope, there was keep going.
That's just a map.
I know, but it would show you if there's a creek,
There's no, according to their map.
It says there's a creek.
Well, there's a creek. I thought he said there was a pond. Somebody's corrected and said it was a pond.
He just said you could swim
there
in
it is. So that's.
They also have a pond to swim in. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to say. You're out of the picture now.
Well.
Go to the bathroom if you got to go.
Bend off.
Got a bathroom that works. Just doesn't have any walls on it. But the door's locked. There's nobody coming in.
Well, you've been on 2 hours too. I didn't know if you were just going to go.
Can't talk. I'm going to get a drink first. Here's the thing I want to tell you. when we go to motorcycle rallies, we have been places that have swimming pools and game rooms and all this stuff. You know, we never used any of them. Even when we travel in between this, when we're in Florida for the 3 months, waiting in between the month and a half, waiting for a rally, we're actually at a campground. One of our campgrounds we belong to actually has a swimming pool and a hot tub. And you know how many times we go in there? Maybe twice, because we have other things to do. We want to ride our motorcycle. We want to go check out stuff. I didn't come here to swim. I don't go to a motorcycle rally to swim. Now, maybe you do. Oh, it's so hot. It's great to jump in. Well, yeah, I can jump in a cold shower too and get the same relief, and I don't have to waste so much of my time. So when I go to a motorcycle rally, I came to ride my motorcycle and do some fun things with that. I don't, it's like people when they complain about concerts. Oh, man, because they didn't have very good concerts. Dude, don't come to a freaking rally. If you're only coming to see the bands that are playing, you probably shouldn't come here. You couldn't go to any motorcycle rally. You know, because you can go here to Vegas, there's a bunch of shows. You can go down to Florida. If you're in Florida, it seems like they got bands, some great bands down there all the time. You know, you probably got a city around you. We used to live in St. Louis. They had bands there, big bands, name brand companies. You know, you're going to a concert, and that's what you go. You got a place to sit down, all that good stuff. You went to the bathroom that fast?
No, that's
No, it's pretty quick. And so I'm like, you know, to me, the bands are just icing on the cake. If they didn't have any music at all, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. I didn't really come to see bands. With this year, we did see some of the bands because we were on. Like I say, when I looked the other day in 2021, we missed Clint Black. We also missed who was on 2021. REO Speedwagon was there. We did see Kid Rock. I guess that's it.
ZZ Top.
But I didn't care about these. I would have loved to have seen Clint Black. I didn't get to see him. So sometimes we're right there. We were in the Buffalo Chip in 2021, but we were out doing other stuff and we just didn't get to see it. I don't know what happened. But I mean, it's not that just like this year, you know, we'd love to go see Joan Jett and Billy Idol. If we don't see it, I'm not going to die over it. You know, if we find out that the traffic, you know, we go out there on Wednesday night and it's so crowded you can't get in there, it takes us forever to get there, then it's just not worth it. It's not worth wasting 3 hours of my life getting there and getting back on a shuttle. It just isn't worth it. Billy Idol will probably play in Vegas here somewhere, and I can pay $100 a person probably to get in and get some halfway decent seats and see it. That's about the only person I haven't seen is Billy Idol. I would have always said that in the past, told Rob that last year. It would be great to have Billy Idol to come in here, because it's somebody I've never seen, and I would really love to see Billy Idol. But if I don't see him, I'm not going to die over that. I'm not going to say, oh, this is the worst rally because I couldn't get to go. Who the hell cares? You know, but I'm just saying, people look at stuff and they're like, oh, I'm mad because this, and I'm mad about that. You know, you make
the rally what you make it.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if people come, I got to talk about swimming pools. How many times did we swim in the month and a half that we're in between the rallies in Florida? How many times did we swim in that pool, get in the hot tub? What would you say?
Maybe twice.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I said.
About the 3 or 4 years we've been going.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's not like, but see, it's the same thing. We came there to do other stuff. We're riding a motorcycle. We're going out and checking out different places, exploring. You know, I'm on vacation. I'm trying to see stuff that I might want to do or stuff you guys might want to see. So it's like, you know, it's great that there's a creek going through there, but for the chance of us getting, just like at Fish and Fry, the chance of, that's probably a pretty deep creek there, which might be the same one that you're showing to this other campground, because they got fish going through it.
And
so
that's where Crap on a Cracker stayed.
And so it might be big enough to,
it's probably very
close
to Fish and Fry.
Yeah, so across the street. And so it might be, you know, but the chances of putting a swimming suit on, going out there and jumping in the creek probably isn't going to happen even if we stayed there.
Wait, when we stayed at Adams Sandoval's, he's right there on the Gay River.
We walked down there and looked at it, but that was it. So once again, we're looking for motorcycle events. You know, we got a river here. Got all the biggest freaking river you want to get in. The Colorado River is right down the street here. I keep telling her, when you want to go down there and go skinny dipping in the river. She's like, I don't know. I said, the cold water might help you. It's about 55 degrees. And it hasn't been that hot. Well, it hasn't been this year. We're going to have to go out and see what the temperature is. But usually it doesn't get much over 75. So we have a really cool river to swim in. It's pretty clean. You can see the bottom. You can see the rocks and stuff in it. So we're right here. How many times this year have we been in the river?
None.
Last year was probably 2 or 3 times, maybe twice. The year before that, we were in a little bit more. But it gets to be, got too much other stuff to do. Got time to go down there and play in the river. but we don't even have the boat out. I don't think we've had the boat out the last 2 years.
Labor Day.
It went out.
Mm-hmm.
I knew many of them took it out, but I didn't think we took it out.
That was Memorial Day. They didn't come down for 4th of July. Tropical Willie shirt.
Yeah. So we're at this moment, we're not doing any of the fall rallies down south in Florida, Myrtle Beach, any of that stuff. No matter what anybody says, if you're going to Myrtle Beach, Barefoot Landing has been canceled this year. There's a lot of people that says it's just temporary. It's going to come back. We're hearing from very reliable sources. It's done. It's over. You got to look at Myrtle Beach. It's going to be a lot like Daytona. They really don't want us there. And they're going to do everything. They got rid of the Jeep people last year. So why would they not get rid of the motorcycle people? So it's just a matter of time. Motorcycles are troublemakers. You know, they make too much noise. They cause accidents. They carry guns and do drugs and all this stuff. So they don't want us around. So once again, you find good towns. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is going to be a good place to go because they love motorcycles. You're going to see it when we go down. We're going to show you. There's probably not a store down there closed up because of the rally. Like Rogers Leesburg. Too. Not like Leesburg. Half the stores in Leesburg is closed because they're scared to death the bad bikers are going to rob their stores. Dude, you don't know. You could have a kid store down there. You don't know how many people there do you think have kids that might want to buy something for their kid to take home? Yep. Some clothes or something like shoes. You never know. You don't know. Why waste the time of closing up? But it does. So Sturgis, that's one of the reasons that's the other thing I forgot to say. That was one of my favorite things about Sturgis too, is every business is open. You know, there is some extra businesses that come in that normally aren't there. But any town you go to, they give you bike parking. Everybody's friendly. Nobody's throwing rocks at you or yelling at you. There is people there in Sturgis that don't want you there. But most of them are gone. They take their 2 weeks of vacation, leave, and never come back.
The truck rally was really bad down in Daytona, the truck rally.
Oh, well, yeah, that's pretty much going away.
They're losing money. I don't know why. I don't know.
Well, see, what Myrtle Beach looks at is it's a tourism town. That's one of the rallies that I think, my opinion is, it is the most likely accident town that you're going to get killed on your motorcycle. Somebody's going to run over you with a car. There is way too many cars, way more cars than there ever is bikes. That is probably the worst area that I feel. A lot of times there's a lot of foreigners there that don't know how to drive in America. They've rented cars. I've just seen some really bad stuff when we've been in Myrtle Beach. Because when you're driving through there, once again, Myrtle Beach don't want you there. They tried to pass a helmet law that didn't happen. They got sued over it. They had to pay everybody back. But they're just another one of those towns that don't really want you here. You can't even park in a parking garage down there in Myrtle Beach. You put your bike inside of one of those parking garages, you will be fined and towed. They don't want you down there. And that's the way it is. And Daytona is kind of the same thing. People always say that, because I say that. Eventually, Daytona is going to take Main Street and they're going to turn it into condos, and they're going to stop all of us from coming down there. They're like, they can't do that. They can't stop us. Have you ever driven down the A1A the other way? Like when you go past Daytona and you're heading down towards the lighthouse and stuff like that. Take a look at all those roads to the right. They got little signs up. They got big barricades in the middle of the road. It says private road closed. You pull your motorcycle down that road, you will be ticketed, arrested, and towed. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Daytona Beach. So yes, could they do that to Main Street? Yes, they will. And it's just a matter of time. Doghouse rented it for a few years. They got 3 years. They got 3 years on all the Dirty Harry stuff. After 3 years, they're probably going to bail out. They just, for what they're paying for their lease, there's no way. I can't even see how they're making any money on it. We had heard all these other rumors that they were going to open up some gambling inside the hotel or in some of the bars and stuff and be open year round. And we're not hearing that. I think Dirty Harry's is the only one that's open like it always has. And they're not going to change anything. So I don't know how they're going to make any killing on what they're paying for a lease. Because
when we were down there before Daytona started, just a couple weeks before, 3 or 4 people in the bars. That was it.
If there was 10 bikes on the street, it was a miracle. And there was more down at the other end, down at, what's the bar on the very end? The lady sells all the T-shirts.
Oh, the Boot Hill.
Yeah. Boot Hill is probably the most crowded bar, non-rally time down there. There's probably 10 people in that bar. 3 people were down there at Dirty Harry's. And we went down every day. Went up and down that street, and it's pretty sad.
That's as big as it gets.
Yeah. Welcome to Daytona.
No, he's talking about your beard. So it looks like you're trying to work on your 2024 Sturgis beard.
Maybe. Let me grow a big long beard. That's about not quite. It's probably been a little longer than that, but I was going to shave it. And I thought, let's see how far it'll go. Right. Grizzly. Here's Lee Adams.
You got a haircut today.
Nice and short. Somebody thought I was a military guy because I always kept my hair so short. Never was in the military. Almost, but we didn't go. That's why I want to do my vet bikes. Pay back to some of the vets that I didn't have time to put in to do that thing. I ended up working a business and didn't do it.
Didn't go.
Should have gone in because it would have been the last year. It was 79 would have went in, and it would have been the last year that I would have got full benefits. I would have stayed in for 20 years, and I'd have been a lot better off today than I was what I am today if I'd have done that.
Well, you didn't get killed in a war.
There was no war going on then.
If you'd have stayed in 20 years, there was wars in
They wouldn't send
between.
them. I would have ended up, well, I should have done what the service told me. I said I wanted to go in as a mechanic, auto mechanic, and I scored the highest in electrical. And I should have, that's what I should have done. My brother did that. I should have never been on. Nobody should be an auto mechanic or a body shop. There is no money in that. You buy all these tools, you spend all this money, you work all these stupid hours, and you don't really make any real money. When I worked for the utility companies where I made my big money, if it wasn't for that, we would have never been able to retire. And I sent her through college, and that's how she got the big paying job. So for a long time, she made more money than I did. And so that's the end of the world. So any more questions? So we'll wrap it up for tonight. Start packing up and getting ready for OC BikeFest. It's a BikeFest. So is they don't call it a rally, it's a BikeFest. I don't know why. Why is one called a BikeFest and one's called a rally? I don't know.
It depends if they're riding or not.
Because they tried to say that Daytona was the only true bike week. And so it's like, I don't know. Actually, it's not. If you Google it, there's actually a couple other events that they call Bike Week. So.
All right. Say goodnight, John Boy.
Where's John Boy at? He's not here.
Oh, Jeff's on. You can say goodnight to Jeff.
Later on, Jeff.
All righty. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
No live next Sunday. We will probably do some lives during the week once we get there. Don't know. Depends on what's going on. So always keep an eye out looking for what's going on at Ocean City, and also on Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. So we probably won't have any live this Sunday coming up because we don't get to the airport we don't land till 6. So it takes about 2 hours, hour and a half or so to get to Eureka Springs. So it's going to be 10 or 11 o'clock by the time we get there. So no, you're not going to see us unless something crazy happens in the airport. See some crazy people, we might put you on. And other than that, don't plan on seeing us on Sunday. The next Sunday, we probably will do a live. We might do a live from the cat house because we don't leave till Monday. So we might do a wrap-up party at the
cat house.
Yep. So that might be pretty neat. So check it out.
Say a special thanks to Jeff for coming on from the cat house, Jeff Gregory.
Yep.
We'll see him next week.
Yep, in a week. Yep. Be pulling in. And so that will kind of end us up. And we want to thank our 2 people that gave us money actually 3 people gave us money to help with the shop, to help with the lift. We appreciate that. We're a little bit closer now. I'm $320 now into it out of a $2,100 lift. So we are getting closer to that. And we're going to put down here, I got to keep putting it back down here. We do have a Patreon, not a Patreon, but we have a PayPal account that you can send money through too. You can put it on a credit card or send money that way. I don't pay the fees as much as I do through here. So we'll put that on there too. And people who want to send anything, it's great. And that, we'll leave you.
Night, John.
Oh, my butt hurts.
There's John Boy right there.
John Boy. Good night, guys.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
There you go. See y'all later.
Bye.